Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A very good Monday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage right here in Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. EST, we're proudly presented by Play Alberta. Thank you to everyone for listening live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, watching on YouTube, listening on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, download of all our pods, all that. Greatly appreciated. Iwanyk, Jay Milne, Tom Gazzola, Benny the intern with you. He's on the other side of the camera. How's everyone doing today?
Good. Can I start? Well, he'll fix
with
his
the
mic.
mics.
I'll start with a good news story to kick off the week.
Oh, good news.
I want to give a shout out to our nasties because Ice House is tough to get into, and especially like for Game 5, and really good crew showed up, and there was this couple from from Germany that were there.
I saw that.
And our nasties, they were just looking for a place to watch. They're kind of like, lost, curious tourists, is my understanding from what the nasties told me. And they took them in. And they told them about EST. And they watched the game with them the whole day. And then there was Sarah sent it in. I have to dig up the photo. I think we should put it up on our socials.
Oh, she tweeted it.
Oh, she tweeted it. Okay.
Saw it. I think we tweeted it.
Did we tweet it? Okay, good. But like, that's the beauty of our station and our listeners and audience and viewers. Very, very welcoming. So I thought that was awesome. Like, it was a crazy busy day, and they were telling me about it. I didn't get a chance to meet the Jervs because I was hopping on the show, but I thought that was awesome. I went back home and I thought about it. I'm like, that's huge. That's awesome. So I just want to give a huge round of clicks and a shout out to our nasties. Raider Jesse was there. Cal and Sarah. Tube Socks came out. Savage. Who else? VR was there. Oh my God, I don't want to forget anybody, but it was a really, really good turnout. And I'm really happy that you guys did that, and great ambassadors for our station. So big thank you guys. That's fantastic. Honestly, I want to start with that.
I like that. It's a good way to start a week.
Yeah.
Good positive story on a positive Monday.
Yes. Jay, thank you for coming in.
Hey,
I
pulled me out of the bullpen.
I
Put your hand
canceled
here.
Jay. I've canceled Jay 2 of the last 4 or 3 weeks.
No, I'm doing it, Tim. Look,
So interlock.
no, that's
on
weird.
Friday too.
Matt, I serve at the feet of you. So please, you tell me when.
Well,
you
I
tell
like
me to
having you
jump,
around. I love
say
being
how
around
high.
you. I'm jealous of Reed.
Are you?
Well, he gets I get my 18 times with you a year, but it's just 18.
I would come in whenever you want.
Well, let's not go that far.
Well, I mean, hey, I almost went as far this morning to say, because sometimes people have to cancel for different reasons, and if you're in a pinch, just throw the old glue guy a text and see what happens.
See, and you weren't.
like that.
We didn't book you in a pinch. I do just want to make that known. We
No,
were
no,
already
no.
pre-booked.
This was pre-booked.
We did have Patty from the Burrows was supposed to be on today, but
Patty.
canceled on me yesterday. He's coming on tomorrow.
Okay.
But also Reed's coming on tomorrow.
Oh, that'll be interesting. So Pat's son,
Yeah.
I forget
Jet.
his name. Jet. Thank you, Tommy.
I got you.
Was who could win an Esty for on-air performance of the year from the Hockey Helps the Homeless at the Boucher's Terwilliger Rec Center. I forget exactly when that was, but you guys remember that.
May
And
3rd or early May.
yeah, and Pat's son, actually, Tom, you left Pat's son completely high and dry.
I did?
What?
Yeah.
Well, he
apparently.
signed his stuff.
What did I do?
Apparently, and I know this, I'm just bugging you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know this is how it probably gets
did I do?
lost sometimes, but he thought he was going to come on your show.
Oh.
Now, I don't know what day that was, whether it was Two Guys or Oil Stream. Maybe I think it was Oil Stream because
That would make sense. When we were there, right?
Yeah, when you were on location, and he kept hanging around. And so I saw Pat, and it was the start of our show, and him and his son sitting there, and his son looked actually quite dejected.
No. Okay, so one of us probably said you want to come on or something like that.
So he thought
Shoot.
he was coming on. So I said, "Well, what's up?" And so, he said he was supposed to be on Tom's show, but Tom's not even here now. I'm like, "Well, that's fine. We'll get him on our show." I mean, he was a coach on Pat's Brewhouse team or Ice House team. So I'm like, yeah, come on, we'll talk for 5 minutes.
You saved the day.
So he came on and delivered a line because I asked him about being a coach. And he says, yeah, I'm loving being the coach of this team. And I'm like, so you chirping guys out there? What are you doing? He's like, oh yeah, I'm chirping all the time. Yeah. And
he's Patty's son.
I said, well, what's your best chirp? And he came on air and he said, my go-to chirp is my left nut dangles better than you. Oh. And this kid, he can't be older than 10. Like, he just brought the house down. It was hilarious because my wife and kids were listening in the car at that point. They were actually on their way home. They had come to visit because they were off school that day. And the whole car erupted in laughter because here's this little Jet. And so you'll have to ask Patty about that.
Funny. Way to go, Jet. Patty.
I love Patty. I can't wait to have him on.
Yeah, Patty's
I don't know if people know him as well, but you'll love Patty once he comes on the
Yeah,
he's just a beauty. He's a good man. He's a doting, loving father, too. He wouldn't leave Jet's side. Very, very good dude.
And his brother, congrats to Jeremy. He's having a little one.
Oh.
They put it out there the other day. Yeah. Good. Awesome guy as well. Good hockey player.
So yeah, tomorrow on the Hangout, after canceling on us yesterday, Patty from the Burros will be on. Very excited about that.
Do you want to throw it to the picture?
Yeah, put up that picture. You got it there.
There it is.
So, okay, awesome. Thank you, Benny, for grabbing that. So Sarah posted it. There's Cal.
This is for those on YouTube.
Jesse. Yeah, for those that are watching. These are the Germans. They have the flag. I'm not sure what flag that is. Maybe it's a hometown. Somebody could correct me. And then our Nasties are there, and then they have an Oilers flag, and they're in the plaza, and just awesome. I saw that, and I thought that was fantastic. So I just want to give a shout out to our the hardcores that are always there, that come out. We have a tremendous audience. We really do, and it keeps growing. And the OGs, I guess we could call them, have been very, very welcoming, and that's kind of I feel like it's part of our MO. It's Edmonton's best sports station for a reason, and a lot of it has to do with our audience as well.
Flag of Cologne up there.
That's what it is. Okay, that's awesome.
Actually, we got to talk Oilers. We'll talk some CFL weekend. We can get into the U.S. Open if anyone wants to get into the U.S. Open. Rip City, though. This is a good thing because it's good having you on because we haven't had you on since this happened.
Right.
We got to talk about the new athlete of the week on the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Yeah, this one is this is probably the thing that would be the most near and dear to me. Mm-hmm. And what, it's not often you get a chance in life to switch careers and come into something that you completely admire, adore, love. And so when that was presented to me with Reed, this came up at our first meeting as putting together the show and putting together segments. And I really wanted to do and include an athlete of the week. I was an athlete of the week once for Global. And Kevin Carius came and interviewed me and gave me a sports watch. I still have the watch. But at that time, and still, it's something that meant a lot to me. It was neat to be recognized on that platform. So I wanted to bring it back, and I've been waiting because the right partner needs to be the right partner. Mm-hmm. And Nathan and his crew from Pass to Pantry in Sherwood Park stepped up in a big way. They're so excited about it.
Awesome. I'm glad you make something happen with Nathan.
So the athlete of the week will start this week. We've already got our first athlete selected, and I will tell you, this athlete is very deserving of the crown for the week one and the inaugural athlete of the week. So that's going to happen. I'm not sure which day because obviously a lot of things are still dictated by the Oilers and their playoff run. So we're going to have to find a day that it can, be right and be done right. But yeah, if and here's the thing, I'm not looking for pro athletes, semi-pro, amateur. You can be a 6-year-old that just, made it through their first year of gymnastics. I don't care. Well, I do care, but there's nothing here that says, well,
there's
what's
no restrictions.
the age limit or
right.
what, does this person have to be it can be a coach. It can be your niece that, like I said, got through their first year of swimming. anything to, if you feel that it's important and if you feel they should be nominated, then I feel that they should be nominated. So you can go to the EdmontonSportsTalk.com page, scroll to the bottom, fill out the submission form, or if you want, and this has happened several times, you can just directly email me, jay@EdmontonSportsTalk.com. We did get a ton of submissions. We've pretty much filled out the month of June.
That's awesome.
Did you get mine about my race at Remax last year? Or is that
I
not
missed
covered?
Oh my God. First of all, call
got
it by
that
its
one thing.
true name. The
I
rip
got
off
that
at
one in there,
Remax.
so hopefully I
So
get
what? Like,
fingers crossed.
You're nominating
Rip off.
Eric?
I'm nominated myself because I'm the winner and I have the sauerkraut jar still. So I just want to throw that one out there. So
Rip
I
off
will
at
have
Remax.
one stipulation.
You just-
Self-nominations cannot happen.
damn it.
I think that defeats the purpose.
I agree.
If anyone would like to nominate me,
Nobody's you. It was the rip off at Remax first of all,
not.
and there's video evidence. of it.
Haraxi was on my side.
He's just being nice to you.
Dustin with a Y was on my side wherever he is. A bunch of little kids at the place. Remax was on my
Oh.
side.
Bunch of kids at the place.
Oh, so that's something.
But no, in all honesty, please just send me what you think. Send me somebody you feel deserves it, and they're gonna get a Pasta Pantry gift certificate, a custom Pasta Pantry Athlete of the Week hat.
Nice.
Nathan had those made up, so it's cool, and it's just, you know what, you're gonna come on the Reed Wilkins Show. We're gonna interview you. You're gonna have fun,
I like that.
and I truly want to have like an 8-year-old or like a Jet Ketty on our show that just shocks everybody by what they're saying. Like, these kids are so confident. It's hilarious. And the thought of interviewing somebody like that is more about the story of who they are, where they've come from, what, you know, their story. I mean, we can talk about the Oilers and the Elks and Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl till you're red in the face, right? But a lot of things are happening right here in this community that don't get the coverage and don't get necessarily the shine that they probably deserve. So please take part in it. Send in your nominations, and yeah, we're super excited about it.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are getting this going because I would always remember the Athlete of the Week back on Global. And so just to reiterate, it's like kids, it's college players. It's,
Yeah.
You know, if you think there's somebody out there that's deserving of Athlete of the Week, submit it.
I got the couple of submissions I got. I think like one of these kids will eventually play pro football. I've been following him for quite a while, so I was very pleased to see that somebody from his world had nominated him. And that's the thing too. Like, okay, so this fella goes on and he plays in the CFL and is drafted, and you can look back and say, oh yeah, he was the EST Athlete of the Week. I mean, you never know where these kids are going to develop into or become. But don't feel, here's the one thing I want to make clear. Don't feel that they need to have all the acknowledgments or accolades to be a part of this, to be nominated. This is the accolade. This is the acknowledgement that you may feel somebody just needs to know that, hey, your hard work is paying off, or you're doing a good job. Keep your head up and keep trying. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of what this is about too. So it's not always the person that's an all-Canadian or a superstar or the athlete of the year. There's tons of kids in sports that probably just need a little bit of encouragement, to be honest with you, or positive reinforcement. Send them my way, please, honestly.
I'm imagining the kid that you say is tracking towards a pro football career, reminiscing about how he won Athlete of the Week on EST and then went to Pasta Pantry and went and got a tortellini with Alfredo and Italian salsiccia.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Great meal.
Jay's personal favorite at Pasta Pantry is the pasticcio,
Uh-huh.
which is their iteration of lasagna. And you can get whatever sauce you want on
That's
top.
the-
So I was a
yes.
pasticcio with white sauce. And what is it? It's not Parmesan, but it's pecorino.
Pecorino Romano. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's what my grandma always had.
That's your nickname from high school, wasn't it? Romano Pecorino?
I wish. That does sound pretty good. EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Scroll to the very bottom. We have a mail submission form. You can enter in your Athlete of the Week there. You can email JJ at EdmontonSportsTalk.com and may just create a page that will also do the same thing on Athlete of the Week.
As we continue on this Monday edition of the Hangout, may I read this text from Dave in Section T? What up, Dave? Hopefully see you this Thursday. Dave says, sitting the glue guy to to play Alice Moran was a Knobloch level leadership. Some intriguing discussion on the Hangout Friday caused me to switch from iHeart to YouTube. How is Tommy today after Alice Moran was showing more and better leg on the show than he does? I'm okay with it. I think everybody is too, but she was fantastic. And
Big Al. She signed behind
Big
your
Al,
dad.
yeah. She's hilarious. Go check her out. She's great on social media. Huge Oilers fan. She's born and raised, lived early life in St. Albert, moved to Red Deer and then to Toronto. And yeah, it was awesome to have her on. And sorry, Glue Guy, that we pushed you.
There's times where it's like, nope, that's definitely the right person for the job or for the show. She was fantastic. I didn't realize she is a screenwriter. So let me ask you guys about this. Sorry, Matt, we're kind of jousting with our. Is that the right term?
Microphones.
So Reed and I, we've been putting together show ideas for the summer. When, things are a lot chiller around here. There's no Oilers talk and, maybe it's another bye week for the Elks or whatever.
And then the Elks also play once a week. It is hard to talk. I could do it every day, but it is one of those. So there's not as many storylines. Whereas with the Oilers, they play 3 times in a week. There's different storylines throughout a week. So they're sometimes a little softer on the week.
We would like to write like I don't know. I'm thinking like an 8 to 10 act screenplay
About EST.
We don't know.
Okay, I thought that's where this was going.
It'll be EST related, and actually, it'll probably bring in a lot of the talent that's here to be a part of the screenplay. But we're gonna write. I'll get to your question.
Yeah,
next.
can I put my hand down?
Yeah,
just
you
know
can put your hand down. I know you're next.
I'll just put my thumb up so you know.
Sure. That's the on thumb. We're gonna try write. I think a screenplay, one screenplay or one act per show. And we're going to have the Nasties help us write it. Okay. And then we're going to put these all together. And what my thought is, I haven't even spoke to Reed about this really. So if Reed's listening, he can correct me or guide me however he thinks. But I thought it'd be fun to then do an entire show as just the screenplay with the cast members included and coming in and out of the segments. And so it's a big vision, I understand. But when I heard she was a screenplay writer, I thought, this might be somebody. So I asked her after, and she's like, absolutely. She's like, send it my way. I'll tweak it and lengthen, shorten, whatever. Go ahead, Matthew.
Fringe 2026.
EST. I mean,
present like we build it up for the year next year at the Fringe. Oh, we get a night, and we bring it to the Fringe, and we perform it live at the Fringe.
That would be so amazing.
I think for Reed, even that would be such a homecoming. He does so much with the Fringe and volunteers. For him to be on the stage with this play.
Well, the only week that he took off this year that was like this, I need this week off.
It's the 2 weeks.
Is 2 weeks is to volunteer at the Fringe.
Yes.
Did he really? I'm not surprised by that actually.
Like he is because he loves the Fringe guy.
Yeah.
That would be. You're right, a homecoming for Reed, and it would probably be a dream come true for many of us who've probably wanted to don the stage and show our chops, as they say. Okay. But I think it would be fun because we've been putting together summer show ideas, so anytime something comes to, we tell the Coob, hey, summer show. So he's created a folder. But I think it would be fun to write a screenplay with the Nasties live on our show, scene by scene, and then have it all come together at some point.
Oh, Lieutenant Eric, have a residency at the Mayfield Dinner Theater. We come do EST during the day. At night, we go over to the Mayfield.
Oh my! I did float that by our show on our show on Friday. I said, why do we not refer ourselves? Because remember, Sonic 102.9 was part of the what's it called, Hubcap District?
Yeah,
because they had that Hubcap store right beside them. Why don't we take claim to the Dinner Theater District?
Sure.
I mean, we're stone's throw away from Mayfield Dinner Theater, which is operational still. And I mean, Jubilations is at West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of close.
It's in proximity.
Proximity, that's a good way to put it.
I think we should be taking claim. I think we should have shirts, the Dinner Theater District. EST is proud to be part of the Dinner Theater District.
So in October of 2024, applications opened for indoor-outdoor theater for young audiences lottery. Then in November, they closed, then a draw took place. So if we want to enter in a show, we'd have to enter it in for next year, but I think in October. We'd have to
For
look.
the Fringe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that would be good. That would give us some time to fine tune the script.
Why? So like the summer, you get the script, we do it,
Make
and then we
sure
have all winter
Yeah.
to perfect it. Go hire the roles we need, and I'm thinking just the one night only
Oh yeah.
at the Fringe, like
Yeah, we're
one
not-
night. That's it.
Yeah. This is not. I'm not
EST
committing
off for
everybody.
the day, like unless it's a week. Actually, like do it on a weekend.
You
Then
do
I
it on a
guess
weekend.
as long as the Elks aren't playing, and like you're straight up, boom. That's what we do. One day only. See how it goes.
But like we could have cameos. JMO could come in and do a cameo,
Of course.
Oh, like this is gonna be like we'll have to bring in everyone.
right? And it's gonna. And there maybe we can get into the details of it, but I think it would be fun if we have a professional screenwriter on our side. I don't see how it can go wrong.
I could see it going wrong in many different facets.
We are also a station that has produced an award show.
That
so,
is
like,
true.
I don't think a production of a show would be too hard either.
Right. It would just be figuring out the plot. What are we trying to do? I think it would be something American Pie-ish, summer party. There's some sort of angst between maybe LTE and Reed. Maybe Reed's the father figure.
A nasty bash setting.
A nasty bash setting, yes.
I don't know.
I think it should
my
be some
God.
sort of a party setting where
That's
at least
funny.
we could have 6 o'clock or loggers while we are acting.
Well, there's only the best shows do full product placement.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'd have to. But
Yeah.
that would be phenomenal.
Yep. I'm intrigued by this.
Okay, you've got my
I
attention.
like this idea.
Well, I mean,
I like this for a summer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because again, it's Elks. There's a bit of baseball, depending where the
stingers.
Jays are. Though, if the Jays don't do well, they go away. Stingers and Riverhawks, people have a great time at, but it's not always a
Yeah,
driving
they're not
of discussion.
dialed
There will
in.
be conversations
Sure.
we'll have with Stingers and Riverhawks through over the course of the next few months.
We should get or Riverhawks and Stingers people in here.
Yeah, I'll have to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Riverhawks sometimes will be a little tougher.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, the summer, it's why back at the old place, the boys used to do their brackets. It's just that extra programming that you can
oh,
find,
that's right. That's another summer idea.
Not brackets.
We're gonna rank the top 100 Canadian songs of all time.
Oh, that's very subjective.
Lay it on the line.
It's so subjective.
We're gonna come to a way to rank them, and then it's the definitive guide.
Well, JMO, Toby, and Warren, formerly of the old place, all of us, we used to have a conversation where we had like CanCon Festival. It's like a 3-day event of just Canadian music.
Yeah.
Every night ended with Trooper singing "Raise a Little Hell."
Oh my god! I hate
Every
that. I
night,
hate that
and all
song.
the bands come out and just start banging away on that one.
Okay, so
we then like in the end like bought an island for this and like this vision. So like this would play into we could have just the full festival with it.
I think it would be fun.
I've heard that song so many times that I now hate it. Even though it's a good song and it's catchy, I hate it. And nothing against Trooper. They've had nothing but success with that song. But it's just like, I don't need it anymore.
I love when they pull it out at another game. It's
the
always
worst.
when are they going to pull this one out? And sometimes they do it early in the first period, like, oh, the DJ thinks the Oilers are in trouble right now. We're going to the Raise a Little Hell well early.
Can I let you in on a secret? They have a script that they play the same songs over and over again.
Don't ruin that one.
They only let DJ Bose do so much, and he is a creative mastermind.
You know, to me, that song, the worst part about that song has now become the chorus. You know, the raise a little hell.
raise a
But
little
the
hell,
verse is
raise a
actually
little
pretty
hell.
damn good. If you don't like what you got, why don't you change it? You know, like it's got that gnarly guitar riff, but the chorus is quite cringy now.
yeah.
It's just it sounds like Kiss. You know, it's like Kiss.
What's wrong with Kiss?
Every song sounds the same.
Yeah, but you don't know something like it's AC/DC, same thing, but it's successful.
Yeah, I
Where
didn't
some
say it.
bands, they go and they change, and then people are like, well, you sound different. I don't want to listen to you anymore. Is it, you know, if it works to a degree.
Yeah.
Do you not, do you not like AC/DC?
I love AC/DC, but
Back deck.
I wonder if Kiss is now regretting the makeup thing.
Why?
Now as they're older, and it's like, oh God, here we go again.
Go putting on the
Got to
makeup?
put it on this.
Yeah,
damn
but at least
makeup.
they don't look weathered. Like they're get to hide their bags and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
They don't have to worry about aging. They just paint themselves up and they look young.
I wonder what genius or who came up with that idea. Hey guys, hang on, band meeting.
Okay,
Here's an idea.
They were high as hell is probably the first part of this.
I don't think Gene Simmons is much of a druggie, or I don't think he's
one
ever
of them
drank in
was.
his life. Oh, okay.
One of them had to be like, let's paint ourselves.
What
That makes you stand out, and that was the glam rock era, right? That was when Queen was starting to make its way up.
Well, everybody
some-
was wearing makeup.
Yeah,
I mean, Motley
and, like,
Crue and Van Halen.
Sweet, and what were some of those other like glam rock 70s bands? Like David Bowie obviously would have been in and around there.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, there's a few that are just like they're just,
Elton John, like
yeah.
that was
Brett
that heyday.
Michaels.
Well, those guys came after. Those were the 80s.
Oh, okay,
Talking like the
The
mid
early
70s
ones.
when Kiss really started to take off.
You need Eric or Reed for me. I'm not
Eric
good
would
with
know.
those ones.
Reed would know
Reed
too.
actually told me something very interesting at the Oiler game. Burn It to the Ground, I think it was.
by Nickelback.
Yeah, where
I
like
enjoy
they
that
start
song.
yelling, "Hey."
Yeah,
He was explaining how that gets done, and apparently that's like a whisper. And when you layer it, it sounds bigger and stuff. So it's like when they were recording it or something, it's like, "Hey, hey," like at that level.
And then
and when you layer it, it sounds much bigger.
So that's an
and it sounds-
effect.
and it's like this way of the way it was voiced and recorded. I was like, "This is fascinating."
That's
and he
cool.
just was explaining that to me. And it's some famous producer. I didn't know who produced that. Also produced Highway to Hell
was
and
it Mutt Lange?
Back to
Mutt
Black
Lange?
by
That's
AC/DC.
the guy. Yeah.
Hey, he's produced a lot of crazy
Wasn't he
things. but-
Shania Twain's husband?
Yes. Reed was telling me all about this.
Did
I
he
was
do
really
Def
enjoying it.
Leppard? That would be.
Yeah, he did a Def Leppard.
That's how
It led
Reed
to
would
it
know
there.
about him.
But this hey and like the idea of when you hear those songs and it's like and the Reed will have to explain it more because he had it better of why you add those into songs because he's I guess like the word he said to I don't know if it was Nickelback or someone else is like play a song that works for a crowd of 18,000 or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have to think about it. When you do those hays and stuff, people want to scream it, so it works for a crowd. But I was fascinated by
fun
that. It's
song.
like they're not yelling hey when they're recording it. It's just a hey, and then they layer
it up.
and it sounds bigger.
I wonder why the word hey. Like, hey.
Because it has so many connotations.
Why like we get it fired up for it?
Well, why, like, I think at Metallica is like, oi, or is that AC/DC?
It's AC/DC.
But they're
Back deck.
Australian.
I
So
guess.
that one makes sense.
But why not, like,
They're
yes.
Australian, right?
Yes. You know.
'Cause yes is
why
nerdy.
hey? Why was hey selected as the...
Like in that song?
Hey. You know, the pump up part of a chant.
Like overall? or-
Overall,
Well,
it's in several
well,
songs.
we could ask ChatGPT.
Well, I'd love you to ask ChatGPT.
Gold medal Mark. Good to hear from him. Good morning, Gold
Yeah,
medal Mark.
Gold Medal
says-
Mark reached out to me.
He says, unleash the archers for the CanCon win. And then says, Gene Simmons is a straight edge when it comes to booze and drugs.
Mark reached out to me the day that we talked about that show and said, hey,
yeah,
I could
he'd
be
be all
your
over that.
CanCon advisor, so to speak.
That's right up his alley.
yeah,
Would you like to know?
I'd love
Why
to know.
ChatGPT says hey is used in chants, especially in sports, music, and protest contexts. It's for several practical and psychological reasons. I'll give you the headline. If you want me to go deeper into it, I can go deeper into it.
Give us a taste.
Simple and easy to show is 1. 2 is high energy and impactful. 3 is universally recognizable. 4 is call and response tool. 5 is emotional engagement. 6 is musical and rhythmic filler. Hey often fits well because it's a beat filler or accent. That's
Yeah.
where that one comes in. And then for simple and easy to shout, it cuts through noise and easy for large groups to say in union without any coordination.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
There's your reason.
Makes a lot of sense.
Thanks, AI.
It's where I love AI. It's easier than Google to find that answer.
I just hope Age of Ultron doesn't come true. That's a joke, but
What's Age of Ultron?
it's a Avengers movie where AI takes over,
Oh,
tries to ruin the world.
I don't watch movies, man.
Iron Man, the original, was on TV yesterday. I was
Was
watching
it?
some of it. Yeah, it was very good movie. Like, kind of one of the, you want to talk about OG, that was like the start of the MCU. That and Hulk, I think, were the two.
Actually, I shouldn't. With that new thing, that TV thing I have,
Yeah.
I go in the movies section sometimes, and it's nice to hop in and out of a movie.
Oh,
That's
the
like
ones
my
that are
favorite part.
the ones that are already going like
Yeah,
24/7.
like I'll watch
Yeah.
10 minutes of Casino and be like, that was
movie.
great. That was a great scene.
Do you know what I don't like about that? There's too many options, so sometimes it's hard to pick.
No, but
For me.
there's such a wide variety.
Well,
that-
that's I don't know where to go sometimes.
Put Goodfellas on this morning.
yeah, Goodfellas.
well, I had to take it off because it was on AMC,
oh, so
and
they
I'm
don't
not
have the
watching
swears.
AMC. I have Malcolm in the Middle running right now.
Why are
last
you not
week-
watching AMC?
because they take out the swears and stuff.
Oh,
And it's
right.
not
It's
the
not
same. Like
legit.
it's
Yeah,
when you watch
that's
those
true.
movies and how they do it.
You
just,
mother bugger!
I hate being called a mother bugger.
Yeah.
or that silence or something. That's like this
Yeah.
takes away from the movie. Like I'd rather
Yeah, it
not
does.
watch it than watch it with that stuff. But
Yeah.
last week I was watching Third Rock from the Sun. I don't know who remembers that show.
Great show.
Great show. And Gilligan's Island, which I don't know. A lot of people around here haven't watched it, which surprises me a little bit. Loved Gilligan's Island.
I didn't have cable growing up, so
Gilligan's Island was it.
that was outside. We did start watching Forrest Gump because April and my oldest were gone this weekend to Calgary. Actually, funny story about that. Well, not funny.
Because Calgary smells like cabbage, says Tom.
Just a hint of cabbage is in the air.
We were scrolling for movies to watch, and they wanted a kids movie, but I went on there to see what was on, and Forrest Gump was on. I'm like, oh, because we've watched snippets of Forrest Gump. I'd love to watch tip to tip Forrest Gump with my daughters, but it's just too dangerous.
Do you think they're ready for that?
No,
'cause
clearly
pretty deep.
not. So I started it, and 2 minutes into it was when he was waiting outside of her dorm room, and the guy brings her back to her dorm room, and stuff's happening in the car that Forrest doesn't like, and Forrest,
Jenny.
yeah, Jenny, and so the girls are like, "Oh, keep watching." I'm like, "No, we're gonna."
This
have to
isn't
change
for
it."
you, girls. Not yet.
What's the fun story?
So
Well, by the way, portions of this hour of the Hangout, I need to get some. Brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of EST. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, highproductmarketing.com. Go to edmontonsportstalk.com at the very top. Shop EST. We have a bunch of merch still available for you, all courtesy of the Hive. Tommy, Jay, Matt, Benny with you here on the Hangout on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. We are the Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades, helping Canadians through life transitions. Canadian storage provider by Canadian, sentinel.ca. I have one more liner of that, and I have stopped throwing those because part of it is I know them now. I don't need the card.
well, it's
Yeah,
not
you're
part of the
very good with
shtick,
that.
though.
I know.
You think David Letterman didn't know how to introduce a guest or do his
He
top
still was
10?
reading things.
I know.
I know what I'm reading.
You
Yeah,
can
what
have a
is Forrest Gump
teleprompter.
thing?
Sorry,
It's
I
not.
don't
It's
wanna-
not Forrest Gump related. It's Calgary related.
It's Calgary.
All right.
So they were down at a basketball tournament that took place at the Olympic Oval in Calgary,
Okay.
which apparently does not have ice in it right now.
That makes sense.
So it's like this because those ovals are big, bigger than you may think they
You can
look
fit
on
like
TV.
a couple of full-size hockey rinks in there.
Right. There was probably 15 basketball courts in this thing. And anyways, it looked like hell on earth because to me that's like the worst. And my wife says, "Wow, it was hot in there," and just like, ugh, I would just not want to be there. Anyways,
And you're in Calgary.
and you're in Calgary, so this is they're leaving. They had a game yesterday on a Sunday. The last day, the game was at 4:20 in the afternoon. And they still have to drive home after, like, it's weird. But I don't know. I find them more and more these people that are in these rep leagues and stuff. Like Grace was invited. My daughter was invited. She's
Nice.
not part of the team. They needed a player. So she did well. They did all right. But these rep people have no context of real life. They're like, no, let's play till midnight. These kids can sleep when they're dead. Like, I don't understand it. Anyways,
That's hardcore.
Don't let me go off on that tangent because I would. Anyways, they're leaving Calgary. And there's roadblock after roadblock
understand
after
where this is going.
roadblock, but not leaving Calgary, coming into Calgary.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
And like there was police weren't letting anybody into Calgary for it must have been forever because of that G7
Oh,
summit.
right. Yes.
So they were heading north on number 2, but north or southbound into Calgary was backed up like almost a crossfield.
Well, when Air Force One was landing
That landed this morning, I saw.
last night.
Or was it
It
last
was last night.
Okay.
The airport, like, because, and I saw some people complaining about this, but I understand this one. It's the American president. I don't care who the president is. There's a lot of security around the American president, as there should be, largely. I guess, like, planes were shut down. Like, as soon as they were landing, it was like the airspace is closed.
Yes.
No one's flying in. No one's flying out until Air Force One lands.
Yeah.
Trump gets off. He gets on Marine One. He flies away to Kananaskis. There's a bunch of military planes flying around a Marine One with him to protect the hell out of him. And like, again, I understand all of that. Like, it makes a lot of sense to me, but it wreaked havoc last night across Calgary, and more so with all, because you've got many world leaders coming. You've got 7 world leaders are there, part of the G7, and then there's a few invited leaders that are coming as well. Those are going to be just
Lockdown.
That is going to be such a lockdown location. But when it's especially the American president, whoever it is, that thing's going to be tough.
I have a couple of stories about that. So 2016 election when Trump won the first time, it was during the campaign. It was like the day of the election or right before. We were on the road in Pittsburgh or Philly. And it wasn't Air Force One, but his plane and he had another plane with him, but it was his personal plane. We were flying out after the game, and his was flying out too. And I think he was headed to Detroit, and so were we. And so they got precedent and like you're on a private jet too. Usually you get to sneak in, or you get a little bit of love. And so we had to wait for them to go, and then we landed. They got there as well. They got there, I think we got there first, but they got there and we had to wait for them to disembark and get off. And this was, again, before he became president. So I remember that. And then the next year, when he was president, we were in Washington at the hotel, and myself, Bob, and Jack were going to shoot. We did this segment called The Panel, and we were going to go do it at one of the parks in D.C. And so I get down there a little bit early, and Stoff is already waiting, and he's kind of like playing on his phone like he usually does. And I go, "Hey, morning, Stoff." He's like, "Tom." And then there was like this big security guy in a full suit. He was Secret Service. But I had no idea, right? I'm just groggy-eyed. We got in late the night before. And I like look at the guy. I'm like, "Hey, morning." And he doesn't say a word. I'm like, what an asshole. And so I'm eating a banana for breakfast, and I'm looking for a garbage can. I can't find one, and so I like go into the men's room and throw it in the garbage. The guy follows me in and like looks to see what I was doing, and he looks and makes sure the banana peel was good, right? And I'm like, this is weird. And then I go to Stoff. I'm like, what's going on? You know this guy? Like, you know a lot of weird people. You know this guy? And he goes, "Do you know who's here right now?" And I was like, "Nope." He goes, "Trump's downstairs. They're having meetings." And I was like, "You got to be kidding me." He's like, "That's his guy." And I was like, wow, okay. So we go and we shoot the panel, come back. There's like Secret Service everywhere. You have to show your pass. I don't think you need to show your ID, but you need to show that you're staying at the hotel. And then that night we went for dinner, and it was myself, Bob, Jack, I think like Jim Matheson. It was a media dinner, whatever. And we're coming back, and the streets are closed right around the hotel, like close off, snipers everywhere. And people are like, "Oh, Trump's leaving to go back to the White House." And I'm like, all that for him? And the motorcades lined up outside the hotel. And I'm talking like a dozen vehicles. You get the Beast is the name of his limo. And then there's like two or three of them. There's like Humvees. There's an ambulance. There's a police escort on the motorcycles. And like security everywhere. Barricades everywhere. And so he finally leaves the hotel, hops in the vehicle. And the Humvee was the thing that stood out to me, because on top was a machine gunner, and everything's blacked out to match the limo. And they sped out of there back to the White House. It's unfrickin' believable. And then they have a blacked out ambulance too, just in case.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's insane.
I have a fascination with Air Force One for some reason. I'm just fascinated by this plane and what it would look like to be on there and how it works. They also where the hotel you are, but at least with Air Force One, like they will not just dispose of Trump's waste, human waste.
Yeah, I've
just
heard
anywhere.
this.
Like they don't want other governments to get access to it.
Yeah.
To dissect it and see
To know
what's
if
going
somebody
on.
say they're sick and they're dying. Or
They
something
don't want any of it. So like they're so protective of that.
Yeah.
But like the fact that like it's an Oval Office in the air type thing.
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated by that plane. I would love one day to be able to just walk it in. Like I think they go into museums when they're done. This one's going to be done, and I'd love to actually just go see what this. I would have loved to have seen it land, just to see it in the air.
That'd be cool.
Because they're beasts.
They're huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm fascinated
Didn't
by
you
it.
fulfill your craving during the movie of Air Force One? It's about as close as you'll get, right? I mean, they showed
I
everything.
haven't watched it in a long time.
Oh, you should.
That was a good one.
That's a
Harrison Ford.
great movie.
Those type of action
Air
movies
Force
are
One.
fun.
Oh, it was good. Yeah.
Except I have noted this out before. The CGI at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
when the guy's going down, the bad guy's going down with the plane with Air Force One, is awful.
Yeah,
It was
but like,
mid '90s though,
Yeah, it's
right?
the
But
thing.
it could have been better. They must have run out of money.
I also like I just more upset with CGI from like the 2000s or the 2010s that I go, this is terrible. You had better technology, and this is what I could see this. Like
Didn't age well.
the 90s is ones that I go like I could give them
Budget,
the
though.
doubt.
They ran out of budget.
That's fair.
Jurassic. I watched the thing on because the new Jurassic Park's coming out or Jurassic World.
Oh,
whatever.
what is this? Jurassic Park 62? Which one is it now?
This is
10 or
legit
11.
6.
Legit 6? What do you mean?
Seven.
Seven.
There was the first trilogy.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. My
Jurassic Park 2, Lost World,
Dominion.
number 3, and then there was Jurassic Worlds, which was 3 of them.
Yeah.
And now we're into the next
The
3, maybe, if you will.
the last one was okay. It was nice to like wrap up that trilogy, but the bug thing was
It was weird.
Yeah.
Well, and then they brought back Jeff Goldblum, and the other 2. I'm forgetting their names from the original movie.
Sam
Yeah.
Neill and what's her name? Laura Dern.
Yeah, Laura Dern.
It was cool to have them back, and they used them well, and there was like good callbacks, and they integrated with the new team really well.
I think there's maybe only one person that's been in all of them.
Who the one scientist?
I feel like, has he been in all of them?
No, I don't think
Or
so.
did he miss one?
He missed a couple, I think. He
Jurassic
ends up being the bad guy. So I'm not even. This isn't even a spoiler. The
that's old.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park came out like 4 years ago.
Cast. I need to see who is maybe in all of them. No one. That's a shame. Who'd be the closest? Yeah, BD Wong had a few. He's not in the new one, but before that, he only missed 2.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum was somewhat in most of them.
Yeah, they brought him back for 2. Lost World, I didn't like.
And then he was
Vince
in
Vaughn was in that.
Jurassic World. It says P. What's P stand for on Wikipedia? That's too much work. I don't feel like going through all
Anyway.
that. But that CGI aged very well.
It did.
That one actually for 92, 93, whatever it was, that has aged wonderfully.
The original?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's done very well.
Chris the Plumber is asking if Air Force One, the movie that kept Joe Sakic in Colorado. Yes, and there's a documentary on that on Amazon Prime.
Right.
There was like a money thing between the owner of the Avs, and there was like a tie-in, and
Because he had the offer sheet from New York.
yes, and they had to
go to
come
the
up with
Rangers.
money.
It's also the Bonnie Bonilla story with the Mets having to pay him a lot of money actually has a full connection to Bernie Madoff, which is a fascinating story as well.
Bobby Bonilla every July 1st, Bobby Bonilla Day. I know it's Canada Day as well, but
For those Mets fans, it's Bobby Bonilla Day.
yeah, $1 million every July 1st. Like
Until 36, I think.
because that was like that contract was like it was a nice contract for him at the time.
Yeah.
in like 1999, 2000.
And they wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah,
And they didn't want to, and so they were going to have to pay him out. But Bernie Madoff knew the owner at the time. Was that Wilpon? Might have been Wilpon. And he said, if you could defer the payments, I'll like quadruple this money. Let me invest it. And I will just make you a bunch that
Ponzi scheme.
You'll be able to give him interest later and give him all this money later, and it's going to be nothing
Yeah,
to you. And Bobby Bonilla was good with, he made enough money that he's like, sure, I'll take this deferred thing. And then Bernie, with all that money, all that crap. And so they didn't get extra money. It was all part of Ponzi scheme, but Bobby Bonilla gets his 1 point whatever million for however long it was. It started till 2036.
that's amazing.
It's just an amazing story.
Bobby Bonilla is laughing. That's almost as bad. Like it's worse than the Rick DiPietro contract.
I am surprised there aren't the fact Shohei Ohtani got so much money deferred, and I understand why from a competitive perspective the Dodgers would do that. I'm surprised more athletes don't look at the deferred payments.
Why?
We had our first NHL contract with deferred payments.
Because
didn't
you
we?
get enough,
Yeah.
get some now, but then it's like I'm setting myself up for the rest of life. I'm wondering when we'll start seeing that, like for the stars. Like if you're McDavid in your next contract, you've made a lot right now.
Yeah,
And
but
you
you're
could have
not
more.
getting the appreciation of that money either.
But you're also protecting yourself that if you screw up with your investments, you still have that annual.
I mean, $1
income
million
coming in.
now is not going to be nearly what it's worth in 10 years.
No, but you could have blown it now and you're out. Like Bobby Bonilla could blow $1 million every year, and he knows he's getting $1 million next year. It's just income, I guess, is a way of looking at it.
Yeah, there's
I'd
other
split it
ways.
up.
There's other ways you could do it that are the money's in your bank account.
Yeah, I see what you're
You
saying
can
with
see
that
it
one.
appreciate at market rate, inflationary, and like there's so many things that just go up, that if, you could do a lot better. You could beat it. Essentially, they're doing the organization a favor, which is shocking to me why any of them would really care. I mean, Connor McDavid, sure. But I mean, with Shohei Ohtani, like...
You get more money?
Who could?
That's probably the balance. Well, the Dodgers are probably saying, we will give you 700.
Yeah, that's
if
a fair
we're paying
point.
you now, we're giving you 600.
That's a fair point.
If you defer it, we'll give you 700. And that's maybe why you get a little extra without the cap and stuff like that.
100 mil to take a deferral.
I'm just doing that number.
I know
out there.
that's a
just don't know what
hypothetical, but like just the thought of it is like, yep, I'm okay with that. Sure. That sounds lovely. Let's do it.
I think we've talked a lot of other things that maybe we should finally get to it.
Yeah, I have a good text that's a segue into that, actually.
Let's get the Hango headlines brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. Book your tee time today by visiting theranchgolf.com. You can also book your tournament. They are the proud home to the EST Golf Classic presented by Play Alberta, which is coming up July 8th. It's very soon. Today, my door is going to be closed. Heads up. It's just mostly, I'm just like, it'll say just please knock, do not disturb.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping to finalize everything I need to for the golf tournament today. So.
Okay.
I lost it. I'm sorry. It was something with like, I'm glad
Make it up.
No, it was to the effect of you guys have been positive. I'm glad it's been positive today as opposed to negative because of what happened on Saturday. So,
Well, what are you going to do?
Appreciate that.
There's nothing we could say or do that would change the results from Saturday night. Mm-hmm. That is a fact. That's about the only factual thing you're going to hear today. Well, maybe not.
I have it. It's Haji.
Okay.
Says, morning, guys. I'm really loving that none of the Oilers conversation has been negative so far. Oilers in 7, believe. And then any idea why Florida is chartering 2 Delta planes in the final is just one media because of the distance. No, they would not do that for media. Sorry.
So they chartered 2?
It probably could be
One
like
is for them
support
and one is
staff,
for everyone else?
family.
Probably family.
There's stuff like that, why they would do it.
I would imagine it's family.
Media is going commercial. There is an NHL charter, but it's NHL staff and then like rights holders, I think, are allowed on it.
I don't know. Look, you could reverse this, and Florida came out to Edmonton and played a fantastic hockey game.
Yep.
They needed that win probably more than the Oilers did, because for them to have won the cup, if they want to win the cup, they needed to take 1 at Edmonton, and I don't think they wanted to be down 3-2 and then try to do that in Game 7. Mm-hmm. The Oilers are now in that position where they need to go take 1, and I wouldn't expect to see that performance again from the Oilers in a Game 6.
Very timid. One toe in the water, as I described it on Saturday. That type of style.
Okay, but let me ask you guys this.
Approach.
And Benny, chime in as well. Are any of you sitting here like, oh, this series is over? It's over.
Yeah, I didn't even think it was over when the Oilers made it 4-2. When they scored that one empty netter, to me, there was still 3 minutes left or whatever it was. And I'm like, they could score 2 more with that empty. Like, Florida's got to kill extra man for a while. And now they ultimately did it. But so if in a game they're down 4-2 with 3 to go and their net's empty, and I'm thinking, they still might come back. I am not thinking when the game restarts for a Game 6, it's 0-0 that this is over. Now, Florida has looked good.
Very good.
They have been better for 4 of the last 6 periods.
Correct.
But I like the Oilers' backs are like, we'll talk about it over and over. When their best is when their back's against the wall. And I honestly feel like they're going to be down, empty net in this Game 6, and they're going to go win that hockey game because they need to have their backs as far up against the wall as possible sometimes till they get going.
For the plot.
Yeah.
For the plot.
But it's in the end, no, I like the Oilers are in a position where I've seen them time and time again be in. And when you bet against them, they prove you wrong. And it's one of those, I'll take this to a betting perspective. I got them a couple times. Now I lost during that game on money line. Right now they're plus money, I think, for that game tomorrow. That's an easy play.
They should be.
I know, but that's an easy play for me because the Oilers are that team that when their back's against the wall, they truly show up.
That loss the other night was so Oilers.
Oh, yeah.
The way they did it, I'm like, oh, come on, you guys.
Plus 125, by the way.
That was just now, Tom, is this just an exercise in showing you how dominant Florida can be?
Yeah,
when they
that's
put
fair.
their grippers on you and say, we're not letting you go, you little rats. We're not letting you do what you do. Like they just dominated Edmonton.
They're very good.
They made Edmonton look like, yes, Edmonton looked disorganized in their own zone, But you have to give credit where credit's due. Florida that's probably the best part of their game is their forecheck, and they're just rolling through guys. And like there were several times in that game that the Oilers simply couldn't get the puck out of their own zone.
Yeah.
But that's not why, to me, the Oilers are losing. It's their power play.
Sure.
Power play wasn't
They
particularly
had
great.
opportunities, and that game would have been much different if the Oilers convert on one or two of those power play opportunities.
You're exactly
and the Florida
right.
Panthers are a team that are going to take penalties. That was a game where the Panthers...
Florida's power play wasn't good either.
No, but the Panthers were a team
was good,
also
though.
that they are going to put themselves in a position where they are going to go on the PK. They are aggressive. And the refs, I thought, for a large part, were letting a lot go early in that game for the first period. And then they started calling penalties. And the Panthers had to prey to the box a little bit. And the Oilers just couldn't take advantage of that. That if you go and get one or two of those in game 6, it's a completely different story of the game. And that's where it comes down to, like, I don't want to be too critical of these guys, but you need Connor and Leon to just take over now.
Yep.
Like, this is why you pay your star players. This isn't about depth anymore to me. This isn't about your bottom pairings. This isn't about goaltending to a degree. Hockey's always going to be partially about goaltending. Your stars need to be the best players in the ice now. They're the 2 best players in the series. Like, overall for
Ability,
ranking players,
yeah.
ability. Now they have to go do it. You need your stars to carry you on. If there's one thing that'll like relate from basketball to hockey, basketball isn't as much of a team sport as hockey is, but the stars are the ones that go get you the titles. Yeah. Well, now you're in a spot where it's game 6 and 7. You just need 2 more wins. Mm-hmm. I want to see Connor and Leon take this over, and they need to.
I'd argue like it was the depth of the Oilers that won game 4 for them. Wallman, Podkolzin, and Nurse goals.
Yes.
Like that. Like in a best of 7 series, you hope your depth can win you a game.
Yep.
They did. This is where, like you were saying, Connor and Leon. Like when you compared the both teams going into the series, you always looked at Edmonton and went, they have those 2 options that just can win you a game. I would say we haven't had that yet.
That's fair. Their signature game, legacy game. Brad Marchand is having it.
Could he win Conn Smythe or Sam Bennett?
I think he should be in
Who's
the
the favorite?
conversation.
I think it's between those two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bennett
100%.
is like I think has been the favorite
Main
out of the
driver,
gate.
but
Marchand
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 is-
woke up. Like
yeah.
this series is, I would say the MVP of this series.
Oh,
has been
that's a good point. I
Marchand.
always
Yeah.
forget that.
Yeah,
the
but
NBA is
the
the
whole
finals
playoffs
of
has been
that
it.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Marchand has like, it's the timing of when he steps up is so crucial in these games.
Huge.
But yeah, like, and then to Leon and Connor, like it's power plays also a moment where like you can get those, and that's where it's like I don't know what the official power play was in the end, what they were 0 for, how many opportunities, but
5.
was it 5?
The Oilers are also
that's the one
making
where it's
Brad
like-
Marchand look really good.
Oh, that
is really good.
He yeah, to a degree, yes, but like that shot, first goal he had, that shot was brilliant.
I know, but he Podkolzin forgets that he's even playing hockey off the draw. Then he walks
0 for
around
0 for 3.
Wallman, and I mean, and even in the 2 breakaway goals he scored earlier in the series, he made Evan Bouchard look like he's playing U15 hockey.
Okay, but when Connor does that to players, we sit there and say Connor's just a good
Connor is
player.
not doing it right now.
No, I know, but we praise Connor. We don't say these other guys, they're just not playing. Brad Marchand's causing those players to forget how to play hockey.
Connor
I'm giving
does
Brad
this
Marchand
under
the
tight
benefit.
circumstances. Brad Marchand has simply exploited maybe lack or just stop gaps in your mental state or what part of the
He's
your
forcing
game
those-
you're in.
Or he's forcing those.
I don't
mental
think so.
mistakes. Brad Marchand's that good of a player. He's
Look,
a
I'm
Hall
not
of Famer.
taking away the goals. I'm just saying, like that one that came right off the draw. That's inexcusable on 2 different players for the Oilers.
Well, bad step by Ekholm.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
And Podkolzin, that's supposed to be your guy.
And then it ends
Right?
with just a beautiful shot.
The shot's great.
Ripe that.
No question.
Snipe that one right out.
And if
there.
Connor
And
McDavid's
quick
in there,
release.
yeah, he's finishing that too, and he's getting praise. But they're also, I don't know. Like I think, okay, you cannot take away the productivity of Brad Marchand this series. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not necessarily because he's this superstar player that I think he's just a wily veteran that knows when to take advantage of certain situations and who's on the ice.
They're making it too easy for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I could see
Absolutely.
that. I could see that.
Well, what was Bouchard doing on the muffed pass by Wallman on that one goal? Okay,
Yeah.
that was a bad breakdown.
Yep.
And then the bad step by Ekholm on the first one.
I thought he had a rough game.
Bad recognition from Bouchard on the other side. It's just
Yep.
some mistakes, and they're allowing openings for the Panthers, and it's usually Marchand taking advantage.
Yeah, I think a part of like I honestly I credit so much like Florida's forecheck for those things.
Absolutely.
I think they get in the D-man's heads a little bit of
Yeah.
making plays and stuff because they know someone's coming at them every time. I haven't been a lot of like on Earth long enough to like give like a proper analysis. I think for like all the years of like hockey systems and everything, but like I don't think I've seen a good of a system for a team as like Florida. They like to me like
blanketing.
they're just the most well-oiled machine. Like everyone buys into that system. Every single guy knows exactly what they're doing. It's the same. Like every time the puck gets dumped in the Edmonton zone, it's like, okay, like hold on, like they don't make it easy at all for a puck to get out, and especially when like the momentum is on their side, it just feels like Oilers are hanging on for dear life just to get a puck past the red line.
Yep.
And it goes right back in, and then it's same cycle over and over. It's like it beats up teams, and that's why they're so successful the past couple years.
Well said.
That's
what about
fair.
your experience in Chell, though? That must have shown you some good systems.
Yeah, nah. My system wasn't that great. It was very inconsistent.
Is there forecheck in Chell?
Yeah, I not to pump my tires. I'd say I was
Pump your tires.
I was one of the better forecheckers.
Why wouldn't you want to pump your tires? You have the platform.
He's humble.
Yeah, I try to be.
That's our guy.
Yeah.
Big Uke goes always oil in 7, faith.
Yep.
Jody, I wish I had your faith, Uke. But like, here's if the Oilers go win Game 6.
Home ice Game 7. Is that not
That's
what we're
not what
all
yeah.
begging for last year? We're all
Everyone-
saying, oh, if the Oilers were at home for Game
Yep.
7, this
It'd be a different
could have been
story.
a
Different
game.
story.
Now, the Panthers have won 3 games at Rogers Place between 2 Stanley Cup finals. They've now done that. But I think it'd be different if it's a Game 7.
Yep.
Like, it was different last year, games coming here for 6 for Florida because they knew they always had the one. They could go back home for 7. It's a little different. Here, it's do you want to get on that plane again?
Drag 'em
They
back
do
to
not.
Berta.
The Oilers already
Without
have
the
to
cup.
get on that plane and fly back here. They already know that.
Yeah.
So can you
Bring
force
Florida with
Florida to get on that plane and come back? And how dejected could the Panthers potentially? Like, I think that maybe is where the flip in the home ice would possibly come in. Even in that is if you're the Panthers last year and you lose to get destroyed in Game 6, you know, like, hey, we're flying back home. This is our barn. If you lose tomorrow,
all the way back
you
to
have to come back to Edmonton. Like,
Bring
oh,
the
we have to go
family,
there.
like,
And
like-
okay, the plane, they're all coming. We're going there. Okay, we got to do it
And the
again
wives are
there.
pissed off at him. They're like, you got to go back
We gotta
there.
go to Edmonton. You guys couldn't just get it done. There's a lot of like.
Yeah.
They're going to feel the pressure too tomorrow. Like
been to City Center Mall?
The Oilers ultimately have more pressure
That's
tomorrow.
not good.
Because their season's on the line. They
Yeah.
can't afford a loss. But the Panthers are going to have quite a bit of pressure on themselves tomorrow too, because they're going to want to end that one and not force a Game 7, which I think, again, backs against the wall. I'll take the Oilers every day.
Okay,
Also-
the preliminary 6 players for the Olympics for Team Canada just came out.
Okay.
Who do we got? Who do we got? Who do we got?
McDavid,
Ding.
Crosby,
Ding.
McKinnon,
Ding.
Makar,
Ding.
Binnington.
Eh.
No?
Ooh.
I
No
would have put
goaltenders.
Binnington on there.
Okay.
I would have put Binnington on
Did
there.
is it 3 forwards, 3 defensemen? Or is it 4 forwards, 2 defensemen?
I'm seeing two defensemen.
Would Brad Marchand be
No.
on there?
No.
Would Devin
No.
I was
Taves
just
be
wondering.
on
Okay.
that one?
No.
No?
Alex Pietrangelo? Is he back
No.
on there?
Morrissey?
No.
Thomas Harley.
No. No, it's
Drew Doughty?
Is it
No.
I don't think so.
We're missing
But I'm
one.
just thinking, we're missing 2, I think, aren't we? We had
Brayden Point.
Makar,
Yes.
McKinnon.
Oh, nice.
Is that it?
well, then you're still missing one player.
Okay.
Is he a D-man?
No. forward.
Oh, okay. So
Sorry, just one
one
D-man.
McDavid, McKinnon, Makar,
Crosby,
Crosby, Point.
Point.
One defenseman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we already got Makar. So it's a forward.
Yes.
Who are we missing?
not Marchand?
No.
Stone?
Hagel.
Say Stone.
No.
Or Hagel. Like this should be pretty obvious.
Sam Bennett.
Reinhardt?
Same first name. Yeah, Reinhardt.
Okay.
Oh. Those
Yeah, I
are good.
guess I
Those
can
are very good
I'm
players.
surprised it's not Binnington
I'm not.
because it's an easy. He's going.
He
So
is
it's an
going,
easy
no matter
announcement.
what.
Just throw him into this one. That's an easy announcement on that one. Like, you know he's going. There's no way you're not selecting Jordan Binnington unless he's injured for that Olympic team. That's why I'm just surprised there wasn't Binnington.
What's up with the naming of the first 6 players?
Just to get hype going.
Get too
What-
excited. Oh, now I got the text.
Marketing.
Perfect.
What?
I'm glad I didn't get it right away. TSN just gave me the alert, so I didn't get it spoiled while we were playing our game there. I'm very happy.
Why?
Oh my god.
to get you excited, don't get me started.
Yeah, I
there's
know.
a reason I also like. Oh, I won't say what I want.
No,
to
it's
say.
okay.
I get it, but it's like, when is? I just feel it just keeps going
'Cause people
too
are excited about
far
that.
and too far.
No, because
The Stanley Cup Final's not even done yet.
yeah, that part I found weird. That it was dropping today. But it's
Like,
to give
can
you
you hold
something
it
to
a
talk
week?
about, I guess maybe.
Hold it a week, then the Stanley Cup Final's done.
Or if anything, well, it's a day off before the game, so it fills the space, fills the time in between.
I don't know. I just think this is out of control. You have to name 6 players.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't.
It's all smart.
Like I saw the Italian one, and I was like, yeah, that's really.
That was awesome. It's like they're
Sweet.
the one player that is like pictured on the thing. You're like, who is that?
Yeah, there's a few, and then like zooming in on the names, like, yeah, oh, okay.
I know that guy.
Hey.
Oh yeah, awesome. Like good for them, but like, oh, okay. I'm glad you announced these names.
Yeah, Tommy.
Good Edmonton boy and former MLAC. Rob Sirianni played for Team Italy at the 2012 World Championships. I always remember
Okay, not
that.
even name those of this. Like,
Oh, Rob's like 42 now. Yeah, but I just want to get that in there.
I love Olympic hockey. Like this is one everyone's gonna get excited for. Like it's just, and so there'll be full conversations. It's just good. It's part of the narrative of hockey now until the Olympics. Like I said it even a couple weeks ago. Now it's changed a little bit to a degree, but I thought Stuart Skinner was playing himself back in contention for being the number 2 goalie at the Olympics. You know, he goes wins the cup. I still think that now. Like if he goes wins game 6 and 7,
You have to give credit because everyone was saying the same thing about Aiden Hill.
yeah.
Aiden Hill kind of like now it's probably a little bit of a steadier road there, but everyone's like, oh, Aiden Hill's in because he won a Stanley Cup.
And now if he has this bad performance in the playoffs that he had here, but Stuart Skinner goes gets the ring, and he starts off well next year, like it changes the conversation. So I do enjoy talking about it from that perspective because I also like the thing I love, Jay, about the Olympic discussion though is we're talking hockey and we don't have to worry about contracts. There's no cap.
Yeah.
There's no, well, is he going to get
cap.
6.5 or 6? Is there no move pause, no trade clause? Like we don't have to worry about it. Is strictly hockey. We're talking about the sport, and that's what I love about the next 6 months or whatever it is.
I'm as excited about the event.
No, I know where you're coming from
when
with
it
that one.
happens and when it's on. I just find the commercialization and the marketing of sports is sometimes exhausting and sometimes annoying.
Because it has to be in your face all there. Look,
It doesn't.
Look.
It
Here we
doesn't.
are.
I'm
Here we
not
are.
going to forget.
That's how they
that-
have to do it.
I'm pretty sure I'm not going to forget the Olympics are happening.
But you can.
I guess.
Like
And
you
maybe
can
I'm just
for something.
maybe
Well, you're
I'm
in the
just
sports
not-
world right now.
Oh, I
You're
know.
not media. Like if you're an everyday person, you might be, oh yeah, Olympics next year. Like what other big events happening next year?
Maybe I'm just a grumpy Gus.
Well, yeah, but like what other big events happening?
Maybe I'm
next
just
year?
a
Do you know?
old man yelling at the clouds.
Do you know what the other big event is next year?
The big event next year is Super Bowl.
No, see, that's my. It's World Cups next year. People can
Yes.
forget that stuff.
True.
You have to start, and you're going to see TSN pump the hell out of 2026 World Cup. So
Mm-hmm.
they did a 1 year out. Here's Canada's roster. That's going to be pumped in your mind, so you don't
Canada's
forget
already
about that.
qualified for the World
You've
Cup.
already forgotten about it to a degree. It wasn't top of mind for you right there.
Soccer's never top of mind for me.
It's going to be top of mind for you next year.
Or should I say football?
Football.
Football. Yeah, maybe you're right, Matt.
Because Canada's at the World Cup. It's a big deal.
Maybe
Italy
I'm-
won't be.
Maybe I'm just a giant prick.
But Tuso, the new manager, it's an awful hire, I think. Just terrible.
How
By the way, GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show tomorrow. Where are you for tomorrow?
Hudson's White.
Hudson's White.
Hudson's White.
Right.
Hudson's White. Andrew was asking.
Hudson's White. Tommy will be there 5 o'clock tomorrow. What were you going to ask, Jay?
Oh, I was gonna say, went to my parents for Sunday dinner yesterday for Father's Day. Well, it just happened to be Father's Day. My dad is sold that this is coming back to Edmonton for Game 7. Because he's like, what's the average price of a ticket? And I'm like, for Game 7, like it's probably going to be $1,500 to $2,000. Average.
Higher.
Probably
I think.
probably higher. So he figured out that's 40 million plus in gate. He's like,
No,
this is coming back.
Right, that's not the Oilers aren't getting that.
Well,
right?
yeah,
the
the
face
NHL
value is
gets
different.
resale.
Well,
Right.
face value, the resale market is now Ticketmaster, and that's Ticketmaster. They take a cut of some of it.
Somebody's making a
But
lot
yes,
of money.
Yeah, the money in and out
Too much
is
to deny.
very high for that one. But that's not the Oilers' ticket revenue for that
So
one.
that's what his thought is. He says, no, there's too much money at stake. This game's coming back to Edmonton.
By the way, the league gets a huge cut of the cup final, so OEG doesn't get as much, but they are making.
That makes sense.
They're making a lot of money right now.
Eric wants more Gold Cup talk. Canada, Honduras tomorrow. BC Place. I think 8:30. I can't fly out for it. Disappointed.
You could.
Well, there's an Oiler game though.
So you could. You should. You can't
Okay,
say-
I'm. It's just not.
not a home game.
for work issues. I can't. Well, I gotta watch it. Got to be ready. Canada's Landon Donovan, Canadian American star, ex-star, who's now on one of their broadcasts. He has Canada as the favorite into this tournament.
Nice.
Yeah, go Canada.
I heard somewhere that they're thinking that there is a chance Canada's goal, I'd say, for the World Cup is to finish in the top 16. Like beyond that,
You'd have to
is
win what?
gravy.
2 matches? 3
You have to
matches?
get out of your group and win one match because it's an expanded tournament.
Right.
So beyond that is gravy, is the way that I've heard that. Do you agree or disagree?
I'd have to look at the groups at the time. Like that's the difference. Well, you have to see the group because like the last World Cup, Canada was in the group of death. Like two of the teams they went up against got into the Final Four. Like straight up, it was a tough group. So it's hard to base it on that. I'd like them to get out of the group. Whether I would have them win one match out of the group in the knockout, that's interesting. I wouldn't like that. I think that's a reasonable bar to set it at for Canada. I wouldn't expect further than that. But to be top 16 in the world, yeah, I could go with that.
That'd be awesome. Cool to see Alphonso Davies in the crowd. Chuba Hubbard was there a couple games ago.
Apparently,
Alphonso
it's
Davies.
a bad record though the Oilers have when Davies is in the crowd. I don't think
really?
they've won one.
Oh boy.
So
Just
Sandor
watch
told
on
me.
your stream or your Twitch or
Yeah,
whatever.
Sandor told me something. They're like 0-4 or something when Davies is in the building.
Okay, just stay away from Florida. Don't come back for game 7. Focus on the Gold Cup, rehabbing your knee, Bayern Munich, whatever.
Yeah, I was intrigued by that stat when it came out.
I was going to ask you guys
And there's
before we got off on
Warrior,
this.
Golden State Warrior that was at the game.
Yeah, I know. That was interesting.
In Edmonton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently big Oiler fan. I forgot his name. Not Steph,
Wow.
and not Draymond, and not Jimmy Butler. Brandon something.
Stu Skinner back in net? Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be even a question for people. Like,
Yep.
Pickard
That was
got
the
the
path.
chance.
That was the path,
Yeah,
right?
and he didn't get the win. And I don't think anyone looks at Calvin Pickard overall and says that was on you. But also, I think if you go with the game before, a lot of people, and I know Tommy had in the post-game show, were defending Skinner in that one. And that pull from game 4 wasn't on Stuart Skinner. That was a message to the team type thing. And then
Yes.
Pickard gets the win, so you stick with him. I get that move. So it's not even like the last time we saw Stuart Skinner, he was terrible. He actually made it better for the Oilers in that moment and to a degree allowed them to actually have their comeback because it could have been worse. So without question, it's Stuart Skinner.
And
And he gets your game 7 start because he's got the win.
well, yeah, that would be the only way he'd start game 7.
Wow. They could get there. They could do game 4 again,
yeah,
I guess.
I guess there's changes on the back end.
I don't know. Guys, Stetcher isn't it. Klingberg struggled.
So are they just getting tired on that blue line?
I think they're worn out. I think that
Well,
it's gotten so fast for a couple of those guys. The level of play is elevated. I think that's why we're seeing slow Trent Frederick. Because like if you go, Trent Frederick is slow. He's just a slow player, whatever. If you said that up until the final, you'd be wrong. I just think Florida is that quick, that persistent. Like this, the level of play is like 5 notches ahead of regular season play, 2 or 3 notches ahead of first round. It's so fast.
But
Beyond
maybe
some of
this
these
is
guys.
part of I don't know. The plan is to have available for game 6 rested Klingberg. I don't know.
But that's
I don't
like
think that's the plan.
I think
that would be just dumb. luck.
Well, they thought they maybe, hey, we'll give Stetcher, but at least a fail-safe or a fallback. is knowing that this player has not played for 2 games.
Yeah, but Knobloch tried that for this last game with the short travel. Was it Arvidsson in?
Yeah.
Within he said, like, hopefully fresher legs.
Why was Kapanen out?
Because fresh legs.
And I don't think Kapanen's played. Well, he made a nice play on that goal. But there have been some moments where Kapanen his game has dipped in this
More than
cup
Trent
final.
Frederick?
It's the physicality Frederick's going to bring you.
Going to bring you? Or has been, like, I haven't noticed Trent Frederick as a
They're not taking Trent
beast
Frederick
out there.
Is that because they traded for him? And trying to sign
probably
him?
part
Is
of
it.
it.
A little bit of politics in that?
Probably part of it.
It's just, I mean, okay, but
That's like how
just
Josh
the wrong
Brown got
move.
into
Yeah.
game 1. Josh Brown got into game 1 of the playoffs. There was some politicking going on, guys justifying their jobs.
But I will still
for
say
that
this. I don't care whether Frederick's in or Arvidsson's in or Skinner's in or Klingberg's in or Stetcher's in. It's down to McDavid and Leon.
Empty the tank.
You got to do this.
Yeah.
Like legacy is part of this too. Like,
Yes.
If the Oilers lose again, like if the Oilers lose 6-5 and McDavid and Leon light up the score sheet, okay, it's a different conversation that we're going to be having of how the Oilers lost this series. But if we don't see that Leon and Connor game here, and look, I'm not going to at all go anywhere like trade these guys or you don't. No, that's so. I hope no one puts that in my mouth. But this is your best players need your best players in the biggest moments. You know, this is why they were there. So now it's like you want your legacy. You want to be the guys with the cup. You want to where people are, well, they're wasting away Connor and Leon here. Well, no. You're in the positions now to go get it. And you're in it back-to-back years. Go get it done. Go bring the championship home. Go get your own ring. Go do it just like the Panthers are, Brad Marchand's doing right now. Go do that.
Yep.
And so I don't even care about those lineups. It's on Connor and Leon right now for me. Go win yourself your Stanley Cup. Go build your own legacy. Amplify your legacy.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
I agree. I think that's, but at the same time, I don't think it's a blame thing as to the situation they're in. I mean, hey, don't forget too, they are in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final for the second year in a row,
And both
right?
are worthy
Like
champs.
This team's good. It's just a matter of if those two, like you say, star players can play like star players, because you haven't seen that in the last couple games, right? And you really, like and again, Matt, this might be more of a credit to Florida because Connor's been taking those rushes where it's like he's winding it up and he's coming and then boom, puck's off his stick. Somebody's poke checked him. Somebody's taking it off him. They're good. So, but this is that question: where's the level go to? Is there another level? Is there, and if there is, like Tom said, like empty or I forget who said empty the tank, but yeah, that's when that. Go ahead, do
Desperation, empty the tank. Those cliches, like that's it. This is it. 1, maybe 2 games left. Just everything you've got. That's it. Haji was asking what level of Ekholm or what level of health is Ekholm at. I don't think he's good. I think we might hear that. This is my opinion. We might hear that he's going to need something fixed, and maybe he's not ready for the start of next year. I hope that's not the case. Just what I've been told. So he's fighting it, but empty the tank. Just everything you got. That's it.
How many
One
minutes do
game
you
at a time.
think Leon and Connor play?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
Even in a 60-minute game. Seriously.
It all depends on what was the score and everything.
Right,
If you was
yeah.
an early lead and they're hanging on, they're doing a good job, okay, you could probably play them 20, 24, 25.
Yeah.
But especially if you're down or if you're in a tie game,
This is it.
This is it. Go.
Go.
Let them run.
Win.
And and even
Please.
I understand and I agree with the Panthers just doing well with Connor, but I'll just go to like Connor and Leon are on that power play, and they had their opportunities, and they just like there's not even getting the shots on the net.
They
and
weren't.
stuff.
They were passing up shooting
Yes,
opportunities.
and
Can
that's
we-
where I
can-
go to.
yeah.
Like this all
Okay.
changes just even with the power play. I just want to go ahead, Jay. I just want to see when they had
Do you
power
want me to
plays.
keep my thumb up so you can continue?
No, you can go. I'm just trying to
Okay.
find when the power plays were and what the scores were at the
Can
time.
we talk about this power play? Tom, you just said they're passing up shots.
That's a period 2.
I mean, is there a world where it just used to be like get the greasy goal, like just fire it towards the net, and you've seen it. The broadcasts do such a great job now of showing the reverse angles of pucks from D-man through and ding, ding, ding. like a pinball and finding its way to the back of the net. Why are the Oilers not doing? Because it's not the other way is not working. That cross seam pass to Leon Draisaitl, it's gone.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. Don't even look for it. They're taking it away.
Correct.
They're not going to get burnt by that. Simplify your power play, for God's sake.
Yep.
Put a puck on that. Hell, fire it wide and have it ricochet off the end boards.
They've done that before.
Right? I mean, Corey Perry is very masterful in front of the net. He's very capable. Why aren't you simplifying the power play?
Well, I mean, this is my assumption, and from covering this team for years and years and seeing those guys, they're that good that they can be wizards and masters out there.
Okay,
but
then-
right now it's not happening. Florida has done a very good job. Florida's PK has been number one in the league for the playoffs. I think the entirety of the playoffs are pretty close to it. And Maddie, and you were right. They're taking away the seam, and they're getting sticks in lanes. They're blocking that shot. Bobrovsky's anticipating it. The solution generally is, when that's happening, your set plays aren't working because they know ahead of time you're going to do them. You simplify. You take the shooting lane when it's there. You go crash the net. You try the ricochet. We haven't seen the Oilers do that yet. They need to do it.
15
Seems simple.
5 minutes left in the first. 1-0 Florida. Seth Jones takes a penalty. Oilers don't score. Second period. Ekblad takes a tripping 3 minutes into the second.
That was a
2-0.
terrible power play.
2-0.
I remember.
Don't score. It's still
Yeah.
2-0. Then later, Sam Reinhart, puck over the glass. Panthers got to find a way to keep it in the play because they're struggling with that right now. 7:30 into the second period, 2-0. They don't score. You know, and on those, so that Ekblad won.
Is that
They
when
credited-
Florida scored right after?
No, that would have been after the Reinhardt.
Yeah,
Ekblad,
that
I
was one
see a
of my
nude shot. I see a Perry shot. I see a Bouchard shot. So I got 3 shots on that one. The Reinhardt,
There was one where they like maybe got a shot.
7:38.
I think that was the second
Second period, yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't a shot.
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't think.
They could barely
It looks
get in
like
the
there
zone.
wasn't a shot in that one at all.
Yeah.
That's it. And imagine where the game would be if it's 1-1 all of a sudden, or if it's 2-1 midway through the second, just how, and that place erupts because of that goal, the game changes. And that's where it's just, it's funny because in the years past, it was, you know, last few years, we say the Oilers aren't good enough 5-on-5. And if they don't get the power play opportunities, you know, they're not going to win these hockey games. And this year it's like, well, they're doing pretty good 5-on-5 for the most part. It's just, they're not capitalizing on the power plays when they're getting them. And this is the thing that, you know, they weren't getting last year. So that's where Connor and Leon, it's not even, power play, penalty kill of the Panthers is really good. But you're better.
Well, and
you
I
should be.
feel the Oilers' power play is shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
I think they just need to, like I will say it again, simplify their approach to the power play. And the hell with it. Like Connor, let a wrister fly when you have those grade A shots in between the circles, and then you're trying to go backdoor to somebody or cross seam to somebody and it gets tipped. Fire the puck. Like, just put it on. What's the worst that can happen? Bobrovsky makes a great save. Hey, good, but at least he's now going to recognize that you're taking a shot, and he's not going to be as quick to, you know, move over and take away those different tips or angles that you're going to try and dish one backdoor to Perry or Nuge. But you have to get respect for a shot first, because right now they're not respecting your shot.
Early in the game, they got a couple shots on, and Bobrovsky made some saves, but they weren't confident saves. He was a little shaky in that one. And then they just weren't getting more shots. What was it, through 2 periods? It was like 13 shots or something like that for the Oilers. Like, it's
They only had 3 in the first, I think,
it wasn't.
and then 10 in the second.
Yeah, and it was like the final 13 minutes or so of the first. Didn't even get that shot.
Yeah.
So it's, the depth still has to be there, but it would be nice to be able to say on Saturday, man, what 2 performances did we just see from Connor and Leon?
Well, maybe that's the only way we're talking about it on Saturday, in a positive light.
Yeah, I with how good Florida is, it's hard for me to imagine that it would be any other situation. Yeah. I think maybe the depth could pull one more. But I think you need at least one. If the Oilers want to win this, I think they need one game where McDavid and Leon are.
I think it's coming for Connor too. Like
Yeah.
Connor last game hit 2 posts in that first period, or maybe it was
Yeah, he won on the power play,
one
so
on the
that
power
doesn't
play.
count
Maybe
as a
that's in the
shot.
second period. Yeah, like we're
Well, and he shot.
He was shooting the puck, and
that was a shot.
then he makes a nice move on his goal, near the end of or like middle of the third. So maybe that was kind of the finally like potted one. Obviously, he's more focused on team stuff, but like just like if things start to get going for him a little bit more with his goal scoring, then people gotta play him tighter, which means other guys can get open. That all trickles through the lineup, right? So like the point we've been pushing is you need Connor and Leon to at least have one of those like legacy, like okay, like this is
If they lose this, people, and this was brought up by other media from out of market that are here for the Cup final in the press box in the second intermission. They're like, if they lose this playoffs, they're going to start to be known as the guys who can't get it done.
Yep.
Connor and Leon? You're saying those two?
Yeah.
More so Connor, I think.
I don't want to, I would never use that because I think these guys will eventually get one. Maybe it's this week, who knows? But that was a thought that was floated to me, and I'm like, oof, ouch.
But that's sports.
That is sports.
You know, John Elway was a guy that couldn't get it done in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. He finished with 2 rings, I think.
Back to back, yeah.
And one as the in the head office.
Right. Yeah. But it was for a while, he had that narrative around him because he got there and he couldn't get it done. Like, that is a thing that has just happened, rightfully or wrongfully. That is just goes in sports.
Yeah.
If you get close and you don't finish it
and
a
who
couple
cares?
times.
Like, who cares?
Well, Connor does care. And Leon care.
Yeah, well, maybe that should push you then.
Exactly. But that narrative will be there because, and that's on that. Like, athletes care about that. You know, Jordan was a guy that
fix it.
I agree. I agree.
Empty the tank.
Go out and empty the
You've got a
tank.
chance
One thing I will say
tomorrow.
though, Skinner, whenever he comes in after not playing well or getting, not starting or whatever,
Focused.
He's something else.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to need him to be something else tomorrow.
Well, what did I see? I think the Oilers have won 5 out of their last 6 games when facing elimination. Going back to last year.
Yeah, it was a lot
yeah.
because
The only time they lost was Game 7 last year.
yeah.
So there is that.
Okay. I like that. That's good. That's something they got going for them.
They tend to play better later in the series, and especially with their backs against the wall. We've known this. It's just for whatever reason, they kick into that gear that they can only kick it into when their backs against the wall.
It's so Oilers.
It's so Oilers. So Oilers.
I'm like, why do they do this to everybody?
Yeah.
Why do they do? I said it on the post game. Why do they do it to themselves? Why do they do it to the fan base? Why do they do it to everybody? But it's so Oilers. That's not so Raven. It's so Oilers.
I thought that's so Ravens. The Raven in my head when that happened. My brother's texted me during the last game at one point. He's like, "Why can't the Oilers just make things easier? My heart can't handle this." I'm like, "Who needs a heart?"
You would say that.
Who needs one? This is how it goes.
I actually saw EMTs coming down one of the sections the other day during the game. I was like, oh no. But yeah, heart palpitations through the roof. Yeah. Everything seemed okay, by the way. Sorry.
Tommy, Jay, Benny, Mouth here on the EST Hangout. Let's get the over-under for Play Alberta. Right now, the promo codes for the month of June, EST Casino, when you deposit 20 or more, get a $50 casino bonus. EST Sports, when you deposit 20 or more and get a $50 free bet. Or YEG 50, YEG 50, when you deposit 5 or more for a free bet. I'm going to quickly go to the NBA because, Jay, I want your take on this. Over under 6.5 games in that series between the Pacers and the Thunder. Is this one going to go 7? Because it's 2-2. Going to OKC right now. Pacers somewhat blew that last game.
Somewhat?
Yeah, they blew it.
They blew it.
Okay.
They could have been up 3-1.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Which series is harder to predict right now? Panthers, Oilers, or Thunder?
Oh,
Pacers?
Thunder, OKC. Because at least you can just say the Panthers and you're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Like right now, what?
Plus 325 the Pacers.
Really?
Well, and man, if you've
That's
been
not
on
crazy.
if you've been on the Pacers this series, you've been making a lot of money because they've been dogs every game. And even the spreads, like you
9.5
can take them
right now.
spreads. The spread's 9.5.
Yeah.
I'm all over that. That's might be
Pacers
Jay's
one?
play of the day. Because they just can't extend a large, like these are going to be tight games.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, OKC is just too deep. They just keep rolling out players.
So do you think 6 or 7 though? Over under 6.5?
6 under.
Yeah.
Under. 2 in a row. Is that an option on PA? Play Alberta?
It should be.
Hey, good weekend for Jay's play of the day.
You're doing good.
We hit on Friday. Alouettes -6. That was never in doubt. Never in doubt. And boys, I hit a nice one, even though it was in an Oilers loss. But Dusty's play of the day. I
The McDavid one.
hit a nice one on McDavid.
You hit. I'm gonna have to hop on that.
Good day.
I did one lock shot parlay with Huss, and that one hit last week.
That was your golf one.
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Last week we had we put the Owls spread.
Oh yeah, BC, screw you.
Oh, yeah, I
that
know.
killed me.
But we had
That would have been a plus 550 parlay.
They got
if
dummies.
BC
so we had
just
plus the lock shot parlay from Thursday was plus 5 something, and we had Owls covering the money or spread, Stamps money line, and then Riders Ticats 51 plus points.
Ooh.
Brett Lawther, I was following this one at the Oiler game. Brett Lawther missed a field goal late, but he got the Rouge. 28-23. Just gave me that win. Just gave me that win for that one. So that lock shot parlay hit.
No wonder you love the Rouge even more.
There was a spot, I got to find it right now, where you could bet on, maybe it's down right now because the game's not up. You could bet on the series outright, and you could bet on the series in 6 or Thunder in 6 type thing still.
I would take Thunder, or maybe that's going to be my play of the day. I'll look at it a bit more, but if Indiana is close to double-digit dogs, maybe I could tease it a bit to
Go
get
where?
a little bit higher. But I don't think I'd even need it. Like a 9.5. That's to me.
It was different game 2 when the Pacers were up 1-0, and then the Thunder at home were just going to destroy them.
They're like but I just don't.
It's a
think
2-2 series.
I
The
don't
Pacers
think
aren't
the
gonna allow
Pacers are
that.
going away.
No.
They've proven they're not going away. And they're the comeback kids. Even if they
Yeah.
are down by 14 with 5 minutes left, they're still going to try and make it interesting. So I don't mind that 9.5 point play.
PlayAlberta.ca. Download the app. Again, the promo code's EST Casino, EST Sports, YAG50. This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transitions. Canadian storage provider by Canadian. Check them out. Find convenient locations nearest you by going to sentinel.ca. Anyone watch the U.S. Open yesterday?
Yeah, I caught the end.
my
What a
gosh.
great putt to win it.
I had to leave. Oh, this was a debacle. I had to leave to go to supper. My parents don't have TV.
They don't have TV.
They don't have
But you
TV.
have a phone.
I know, but
they
I'm,
have
I'm
Wi-Fi?
there helping my parents. Well, then we were in like make supper mode.
I see.
So I kind of forgot about it. And
Well, that rain destroy
Well, and then that's the thing. Like I had
They're
a
showing
time.
the 08 U.S. Open.
Yeah. Oh yeah, get this. I come in from outside. I'm doing some stuff outside. I come in. The girls are making Father's Day cards for my dad, for their granddad, and they're like, Rose, it's like, man, Tiger Woods is still great. I'm like, Rose, this is from 2008.
You see how baggy his pants were back then?
But just for her to say, he's still got it, Dad. Tiger Woods still got it. Oh,
I love that.
bet on him to win this
He's
one.
playing
Yeah.
Rocco Mediate.
Yeah.
I felt so
Rocco.
bad for Rocco mediating that one.
Yeah.
Rocco's such a legend.
I know, but
I
then they
love
had
Rocco.
it. So then it's tied, and they have to go play a full 18 on the Monday,
Ugh.
and he just I felt bad for Rocco.
He probably got into it Sunday night and said, "Look, I'm guaranteed to win at least this. Like, who cares? Let's get this thing over with." But did you see the reverse angle of that putt? I mean, how couldn't you?
I think
guess,
I
if you're-
did, but it just,
from the cup side.
yeah.
Yeah, just 2 putt to win, bags it in one. 2 little girls on the just Father's Day exemplified
Yeah.
into one sporting event, and it was just fantastic to see. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it live, but if you did not see JJ Spawn win the U.S. Open, go just Google it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great putt. He had 2 to win. Like he was getting.
And
He was
think of
probably,
the putting conditions. Yeah, Benny's got it right there.
but
That's the
he even
reverse
said,
angle.
I'm glad you brought that up too, Jay, because he even said like they had that rain delay, the storm clouds were brewing still when they were finishing up, but he goes, I felt I hit it light, and it was a 64 footer, and that thing still had
went.
some jam on it when
Yeah.
it got to the hole. Like that was just.
Well, they must have just squeegeed those
Sure.
greens or
Yeah,
something.
they had to
so
have.
maybe it was faster than originally had expected.
But they were putting on glass all week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a course. What a challenge at Oakmont.
Was
man.
it Shane Lowry that's like F this place, F this place?
Oh, he had a rough one.
Yeah, he was. They caught him on camera. And he's just
Well,
like,
how did
"F this
Sam-
place."
Wyndham Clark, was it Wyndham Clark destroyed the locker room?
Did he
Really?
actually?
Damaged a few things.
I've always thought, what kind of pompous parents do you have to name you Wyndham Clock.
But he's got his dad. I think his dad died when he was young or something like
sorry.
that. Yeah, he's
Sorry,
got, like,
Wyndham.
Yeah, but he's still like with the behavior that he has fits a Wyndham. Yeah, he did that to the lockers.
I don't mind that, to be honest with you.
Why would you do that? What's
he's
the lockers
pissed off.
have to
You're a
do?
loser.
He's gonna have to pay for it. That's
Because the
fine.
lockers have lots to do with it.
And he did
that
some-
just
he did
tells
something-
me Wyndham Clark is a spoiled
Well,
brat.
because he also did something at the PGA Championship. He destroyed a sign.
Really?
there.
Kick him
Yes.
off the tour.
Guys, golfers are like on the same plane as F1 drivers. They're,
Oh, yeah.
they're whiny babies.
Yeah, you don't have the rags to riches stories too often. when it
No,
comes to
not
golf.
very often. There's
very few
spoiled
of those
rich
ones.
kids. Like they're crybabies.
What happened to Sam Burns yesterday?
Well, but that delay does not help you, and then you're going through different.
He was leading
conditions.
when I left.
I know,
At the second delay.
but that rain that came down just came out of nowhere, and it just was pelting them. And
It was dark.
But I also love the fact that there's only one person who shot under par the entire week. I love that about the U.S. Open. Challenge these guys. I want them to be pissed off.
What do you have?
One
6
time a year.
bogeys yesterday?
Spawn?
Yeah. He was like up and down. Up
Spawn
and down.
yesterday went bogey, 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 par, bogey, bogey.
Good start. That's
Yeah, no
that's like a TG start.
And then par,
On a
par, par,
crappy
par,
course.
par, birdie, par, birdie, bogey, par, birdie, birdie.
Surprised his parents or
Cleaned it
his
up.
kids were still there.
Daddy sucks
Given the
today.
first 9. Okay, Kyle just meet you back at the hotel,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. No, we're going to the clubhouse.
Yeah. Mommy needs an Arnold Palmer.
An Arnie Palmy.
Yeah. What is an Arnold Palmer?
I don't know. It's iced
Arnold-
tea with vodka.
Iced tea, lemonade, and alcohol.
Yeah.
It's a spiked iced tea lemonade.
Iced
And
tea
that sounds
lemonade.
delicious.
It does sound good. We want to
Yeah,
go for a couple
'cause-
Arnies?
Yeah, I do actually.
What's
Iced tea,
an
lemonade, and,
Arnold Palmer? I'll
what is
get
it,
that for
Coke?
you.
No, I think it's iced tea. lemon. I
Well,
think he's
so
right.
it was a
sorry.
it's a non-alcoholic beverage. I think to start, it combines iced tea and lemonade equal parts.
Oh, right. Because there's that ESPN commercial from back in the day where Scott Van Pelt's standing behind him at
With
the
alcohol.
at the kitchen.
Yeah.
And he's like seeing how much he puts in of each. That's a good one. Those ESPN commercials used to
They
be
were fantastic.
dynamite.
The Gordie Howe one is great.
back in the glory days of live TV.
They even did the Russians one. They kind of brought a few of them back. They did Ovechkin and Varlamov, I think. And they were like Russian spies, like dangling from the roof.
So an alcoholic version of
It
the
must be
beverage
vodka.
is generally made with vodka. It's often referred to as the John Daly. Sorry, James.
Yes, that makes
Yeah,
so
so
much
the
sense.
Arnie Palmer is just iced tea lemonade split.
Okay.
But then you could add,
Yeah,
I saw
Tannis.
something else say bourbon.
Oh, that'd be harsh.
Tannis in the nasty chat says it's called the John Daly if you add vodka. How about
Nice.
that?
How do you know Tannis? I'm kidding. I know why you know.
So, what was I going to say? My brother-in-law is drinking bourbon sours now.
It's a bourbon sour.
Yeah.
It's bourbon and lime juice.
Oh, I like bourbon.
Yeah.
Bourbon messes me up.
Bourbon sour.
Bourbon I drank enough
see.
for a lifetime when we went to the Kentucky Derby.
Yep. That's where you would do it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
When in Rome or
Yeah.
Kentucky in this case.
Oh, boy. Woodford Reserve.
Ooh,
I'm sure it was really
that one sounds
you get
good.
the clicks.
Yeah, it was great. I don't drink hard alcohol, so it's like I don't.
I prefer it more
No.
than beer sometimes.
I need a I'll have a mixed drink in a can, but I'm not at the point in my life where I'm making.
You know,
Mixed
cocktails.
drinks.
Mixologist.
I don't
Just pour whiskey into a glass.
Give me screw this. Just give me something I can just have in a can.
With Arnold Palmer's, all I could think of is that scene in The Other Guys where they go to Dragon's ex's place and Buddy comes in and he's like, who wants some Arnie Palmies? They go to Christineth's place. And he called her Christine. Mark Wahlberg calls him calls her Christine. And she goes, it's Christineth. And he's like, you say my wife's name right. It's Christineth.
Right.
And then, he's like, I made some Arnie Palmies.
Golf TikTok is apparently the drink of the summer is called a water hazard.
Oh,
From
I
Canada.
saw that.
It's Gatorade with
Lime juice, Sprite,
no lemonade, Sprite.
and vodka.
That sounds
Yes.
good.
I saw that. I
So
saw that
it's
yesterday.
you take mostly Gatorade, you put in your shots of vodka, And then it's just a splash of lemonade, splash of Sprite, mix it up, and it's called a water hazard.
I would like that very much. I want to have one or two or five.
I think the Gatorade would help. You're replenishing your electrolytes
Sure.
as you're drinking.
Yes.
Mixing that in at that moment.
Let's believe that.
Maybe throw a little bit of Pedialyte into that. Mix it up. Mm-hmm. It's just
Actually, on
I
Wednesday.
gotta step out quick.
Okay. On Wednesday,
better. We're not judging you.
Sorry.
we're going to have Cameo Hanlon on from Bender Extender.
Yeah, I saw that stuff. It is interesting to
I
me.
tried it the other day.
Did it work?
I think so.
Of course it does.
I think it did.
Yeah.
I felt okay yesterday.
I'm excited to try it.
Because I had a few beverages after the game, met up with some people.
And in the end, those things, there are those things that work. But if you go too far, there's no perfect cure.
That's what Cameo said because I ran into her and she gave me a bunch of samples. She's bringing a bunch in for us. She also played U of A Pandas basketball, so she knows her stuff.
But that's the one thing I know. Like when it comes
Yeah.
to hangover cures, in the end, if you hit a certain limit,
Yeah.
there's nothing you're going to do that's going to recover you from what you did outside of rest and
an IV drip, maybe.
and IV drips and taking a few days.
Yes.
But anything that can help, like a
Mitigate.
good golf round,
Yeah.
I'm all in. I'm all ears.
The best, and I've said it on the shows before, the best like post drinking recovery thing that I've ever had is called drip drop. And I know that there's another one that doesn't liquid IV. I don't find it as good as drip drop. And
I do like Pedialytes.
Pedialyte's supposed
Big
to
Hugh
be
says
good.
Pedialyte saved my life Friday. My stupid ass didn't have any Saturday night. I get the sticks of Pedialyte. And
Yeah.
you just pour them in a water bottle,
Yeah.
and while you're golfing, you mix it in every so many drinks. I've had some decent success with that.
It keeps your vitamins up.
Yeah.
It keeps your electrolytes up and all that, and that kind of helps mitigate.
It's a mix in water, so that's the problem. Is then you eventually you just have I could have another drink, and then you forget to completely do anything, and so you got to balance it. Otherwise, you get the 3-day long hangover.
Coach Mike says, "You come into my house and you get my wife's name right. It's Christina." Thank you, Coach Mike. Great quick clip. Baggio says, "You may think I'm hairy because of the beard, but shaved." Thank you, Baggio. I'm glad people are catching on to that reference. And that guy's in Stranger Things, too.
We're having a lot of movie references over the past couple of days.
Yeah,
You
it's
with Billy Madison?
Well, yeah.
Rashog's got lines a little bit.
All right, lay
Lines
it
were a
on
bit
us.
jumbled, but best guess at today's formation, full team skates. McDavid with Podkolzin and Brown, Draisaitl with Skinner and Kane, Henrique with Frederick and Arvidsson, Janmark with Kapanen and Perry, Nuge not on the ice. Rashog speculating that Podkolzin is holding his place.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise Nuge hasn't been on practice ice since when.
He took that spin at the end of the optional that one day.
Yeah. Skinner and what's the starters net last time they skated there. So again, McDavid, what looks like with the place, well, it should be Nugent, Hopkins, and Brown. Draisaitl with Skinner and Kane. Henrique with Frederick and Arvidsson. Janmark with Kapanen and Perry. So that's what the Oilers are skating today out in.
So Pods is a placeholder. I can't imagine he's scratched though.
No, I don't think so.
So then
I'm going to say he's scratched.
Podkolzin?
Well, I'm going to say that. Why would you skate him on a different line when he's a placeholder?
Because those lines are going to be different by the time we get to the start of the game.
That's fair.
tomorrow. That
I mean he played 82, no?
I think he did.
82 in every playoff
Everything
game.
okay?
Yeah.
Phoenix Copley. Was he the one?
Whoa!
Was he the one that had the big contract?
Phoenix Copley?
Yeah,
He
or
had
is
a
that
really good year with
Phil?
LA,
okay.
got a contract, and I think they just cut him loose because
Well, they just signed him to a 1-year contract.
Who did?
LA.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm just trying to, because I remember there was one goalie that was big, and
Had,
then, was it the Flyers?
Cal Peterson.
Cal
That's
Peterson.
who I'm thinking of.
He got like a 3-year, 5 mil per.
It was like a Jack Campbell type contract.
Yeah, and
then
it-
they had to bury him, and then
They had
traded
to
him
Jack
Philly,
Campbell him.
and- Yeah.
Also, a reminder, Elks home opener this week on Thursdays. They'll open up the Week 3 schedule with the Montreal Alouettes in town. That gets going Thursday, 7 o'clock. Green and Gold kickoff show, 6 o'clock on Thursday, as Jay and I will get you set for the Elks looking to rebound from their loss out in BC as they host a very good Montreal Alouettes team, who, though, have gone up against 2 backups.
Yeah.
I
true.
like Montreal still, though.
They took care of
I told you I was
business.
scared about this game.
Montreal's good. Very good. I mean, without Drew Brown. I don't even know if the Red Blacks would have put up a better fight with Drew Brown. Probably a little bit because there was a lot of tip balls that were picked off by the
I'm not
Alouettes.
fully sold on Drew Brown. I'm not gonna lie,
Me neither.
but
Well, and
the Sacramento Gold Miners 2-0.
Cortez Ivy's on the injured report. Or sorry, Martez. I always said Cortez. I don't know why.
You like Cortez. That's a cool name.
Well,
So is
the
Martez.
concern- right now,
Martez is cool, too.
limited
Yeah.
in practice yesterday.
And Brett Boyko.
They're ends of their O-line. The two.
The two people that protect Trey the
Tackles.
most. And especially
That's-
your left tackle.
Well, to lose
Martez
both
Ivy.
those would be a huge blow.
It would be
And
debilitating.
I don't think the Elks can recover from that.
Now, I didn't see any new signings or anything, so I don't
They
know
made
if any of these guys are slipping to a one game. Like, because Brett Boyko was on the one game.
And it was a game time decision out in BC.
Yeah.
So maybe this is for him just taking it easy, but it was a hammy. And those could always go a little bit. Maybe it's just how it goes. Ivy, I don't even know what happened in that last game. Apparently, he left off the field early, didn't see that fully. So I don't know what's going on there. What do they list him as? I thought he might be also.
Non-participant.
Well, and then
Well, he was limited, but I think
Arkell Smith is still day to day.
Yeah, that was a hellacious hit.
so. Yeah, he's Ivy's also hamstring. Both were limited. Arkell Smith head limited, but they were on the field on Saturday too, though. So they've been there. So maybe just taking their time, being
Might
cautious
just
of
be
it.
cautious, yeah.
Would this be day 2 or 3?
This would be day 3.
Today's day 2.
Because it's an
Yesterday
early,
was day
early
1
start
officially.
this week.
Well, officially,
I think.
no, wouldn't Saturday be? Because they were.
Well,
on
I
the
don't
field.
know. Okay, well, but there's the 3 days for
Right.
injury reports.
Yeah.
it's the 3.
Well, I'll
3
tell you
days.
this.
So it's 1, 2, 3, and then it's walkthrough day. So I don't know when they. I would assume they count yesterday as day 1 for them. I'd have
Maybe.
to ask Hernan what officially they
We're
counted
doing
as.
Zooms with them tomorrow.
Because they weren't originally planned or scheduled to be on the field on Saturday.
And then they
were
decided to?
Yes, they were
Okay.
supposed to be coming back on Sunday.
After the game on BC, it was announced Saturday.
I know, but that wasn't always the plan
Okay, I see what you're saying.
from the organization. I don't think. So I don't know, Matt. I still gotta find out what this team is about. The
And
Elks.
Sure. There's a lot of changes. It's going to take a while. And I specifically, it's a tough schedule to start. 0-3. It's going to take time to develop their chemistry and get things going and understand the new coaching system.
I'm not burying them at 0-3. I hope, for the sake of everybody, they can get a win here.
In BC is always difficult.
Yeah.
Montreal's a good team,
Montreal's
and
a
going
good
to
team.
Winnipeg, especially after what I saw with Winnipeg did as
I
well.
know,
But they
that's
don't win
scary.
at Winnipeg. That's not a good schedule to start.
That's scary.
They gotta commit and figure out a way to run the ball, or Crazy Jay's gonna lose his mind. It's just not sustainable. It's not. And you want to point fingers and say, well, and because trust me, I've been saying it since the start. They sure put a lot of faith in Trey Ford. I sincerely hope for Elks fans that he is the guy, but Trey's never been the number 1 confirmed starter coming into a season. He is this year. And whether it was a combination of his O-line or lack of running game or
His play.
lack of just making decisions quick in a timely fashion from the pocket or what was to be a pocket, he did not look that great. I think he'd be the first to tell you. I don't think Jordan McSimic did a great job of navigating or play calling that game. I think he needs to simplify and adjust and be better this week. This is the thing. This team could put it together and surprise Montreal. They could. I'm not
I hope so.
100%. They just need to do the things that were right. And at the other end of the spectrum is BC's very talented. and look, this was a 3-point game heading into a fourth quarter of that game. Even though the Elks played like dog, you know what. So it's not as bad as it looks. They just need to, like the Oilers' power play, simplify.
Well, and defensively, I don't think they're going to give up that many second down conversions again.
Second and long, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing that, which means they're getting off the field a little earlier.
That's good.
And they're giving that offense a little more time to get into a rhythm and establish a run game or something like that. Like that's the other part to do is that like it's hard for the offense to build its rhythm even when the defense is allowing long drives. I don't even care about the points at that point. It's these long sustained drives, so the offense is coming out very cold. No wonder there was
around.
no flow. Is that they're getting on the field every 8 minutes or whatever, as opposed to getting back on the field and getting
that's
to build that.
crippling for a defense to
I'm saying
try and.
for the offense.
Well, no, but it works both ways.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the offense, it's hard to also get into a flow when the defense is just giving up these long drives that they go on the field, and it's not these big plays that they're always giving up. It's they're letting BC methodically move down the field, so the offense hasn't been on the field for a bit, and then and then it's a quick 2-and-out type thing, and then it's out back off the field. So it's
one of these things that keeps kicking down the road further and making it harder for both the offense and the defense.
yes,
But here's the thing though, defense is reactionary, where it takes a lot more mental focus on offense, where you don't necessarily like having time on the sideline for your offense isn't the worst thing in the world. But they weren't able to put together any sort of sustained drives, unless traded something outer worldly.
Yeah.
That's hard on the defense to say, okay, 2-and-out, defense, we're up. 2-and-out, defense, we're up. It kills. It's just, and head coach Mark Killam did mention fatigue after that game. And I don't know if he was talking about the defense. I don't know if he was talking about Trey Ford, the O-line. There's a lot of people you could look at and point at and say fatigue was an issue here. And not necessarily because they're not out of shape. No. For the most part.
Game shape?
Maybe game shape and being able to handle that pressure after pressure after pressure.
the Panthers got fatigued in game 1 of this Stanley Cup series. In that game, they figured it out. They found a way to get it going. So maybe it's just even within the game of knowing where and when to empty certain parts of the tank, so that you can recover mid-game to be ready to go for a full game. The official drink of the EST Hangout, by the way, it's the Finnish long drink, legend in 1952, a drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada, where you can enter your postal code and find a liquor store or an establishment nearest you with the long drink. Alice Moran was a fan of the long drink.
Yes.
She had known about it. She had been drinking it. And so there you go. If you have that, you'll just absolutely love it. I'm waiting for the lines for the CFL from Play Alberta, because I love seeing where they go for the week. And that's what we learned for the last couple of weeks too, is there's sometimes some really nice plays early in the CFL week. Last week, you could have got Montreal plus 100 if you got on them at the start of the week. Up until basically the day before the game, Calgary was plus money. They will mess up lines at times in this. So when that Play Alberta puts up some CFL lines, stay tuned to that. Follow it along, because that's where you can get some value. Huss was talking about a lock shop with me last week, and he was going, this is where you get a lot of value early. When you still don't fully know what these teams are, the lines will shift quite a bit. So you can jump on it pretty good. So we'll see what we got, because we got Edmonton, Montreal, we got Saskatchewan, Toronto, we got Ottawa, Calgary, and we got Winnipeg, BC rematch. And AJ Jackiebeck, by the way,
Good to see him.
he calls the Red Blacks game on Friday, flies to Edmonton's here for game 5, flies back because he had to call Atletico Ottawa soccer game.
Yeah.
And then the Red Blacks fly to Calgary Friday at 2:30. They get to Calgary because they play on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he's like, oh, it might be tight to get up to Edmonton for a 7. I was like, you'd miss the first period, but you could go do it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
Rent the car and
good to
just
see
go.
AJ.
He's
Good
always
dude.
good.
Yeah,
He's
good dude.
We were talking because actually it was funny. He's talking to me and he's like, "How are things?" And it's like, yeah, it's been 2 years. And I look at my phone; it was 2 years to the day.
On the day, yeah.
To the day.
I mentioned
and
it
then-
on post game or pregame show.
And then he's like, "Yeah, I was supposed to be the next guest." I was like, "Yeah, you were."
Yes, he was.
You were supposed to be the
Coming
next
up next.
guest.
We've got AJ Jackiebeck after the break. More on the way on the Nielsen show.
And then he
on
texts
TSN
Eric,
12.
"Are we
crazy.
doing this still?"
Well, we were being told that we no longer had a station at that point.
He did that to one of his because one of his colleagues got let go that day too, and he called him after. He's like, "Hey, we still doing this thing?" And the guy's like, "I just got let go."
I don't work for you.
They did back to back.
Oh
like,
my
"Hey,
gosh.
we're doing this thing." It's
That-
like, "Nope, let go."
Oh,
It'd be a hard
dude.
position to be in.
Don't
was-
text anyone else that day.
Yeah.
Rick and I was filling in for Dusty that morning. The Golden Knights had just won the Stanley Cup, June 14th, 2023. And yeah, we're like, coming up next, AJ Jackiebeck. We'll talk about the Red Blacks and the sale of the Ottawa Senators. And then, yeah, the Bell Media crew comes in. They're like, hey, we're having a boardroom meeting. Eric goes, do you need me to add some commercials to give us some time? We have 2 minutes left in this break. We're told, nope, engineering's got it. Eric and I looked at each other. We're like, we're toast. And it was just like a death march to the boardroom. And I remember because the deal for my condo went through half an hour prior. I got the email from the lawyer saying, congratulations, your condo deal went through. And I was like, all right, good. Here we go. I'm moving. And half hour later, it's 8:58, and we're told as of 9 a.m. today, TSN 1260 in Edmonton no longer exists. I'm like, it's 8:58, so in 2 minutes they're pulling the plug, and that was it.
From the ashes comes EST.
Yes.
We got Lock Shop, Dusty and Huss coming up. We got Oil Stream. We got EST Afternoons with Hearn and Engager. We got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne coming up until 6, from 3 until 6. We've got Pipeline Show, MCTV. No, there's no Stingers or Hawks today, I don't believe. So we'll have Pipeline and MCTV on our audio stream later today. What's coming up on the Reed Wilkins Show, do you know, as of yet?
Panthers play-by-play voice Doug Plagans
Good guy.
is going to join. And Reed watched an interesting movie on the weekend, and he wants to have some fun with the William Huff off-topic. So look for that. Whenever Reed says, let's have some fun with this, I'm all in.
That's all coming up here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. Thanks to everyone for listening on TuneIn, iHeart, Apple Music, watching on YouTube, listening on podcast, or listening at edmontonsportstalk.com. On behalf of Benny, Tommy, Jay, I am Matt. Thanks for tuning into the Angle, presented by Sentinel Storage. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Lock shop in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout, presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.